I hear chilling, raspy laughter echoing in the dark, the kind that definitely doesn't belong to a friendly neighbor. A voice whispers about how tender my flesh is, which is a culinary review I really could have lived without. My name is Ding Yi, and I am currently having the worst week of my life. 7 days ago, I accidentally transmigrated into this world, and I'd like to file a formal complaint about the lack of an exit door. This world is completely, fundamentally broken, and honestly, it's not for the faint of heart. I try to move, but I groan as I realize, oops, maybe take it a bit slower, genius. My clumsy attempt at navigation resulted in a broken leg, which is just brilliant timing, really. I was rescued by Old Man Wei and his wife, and my suspicious internal alarms have been blaring ever since. They dragged me back to this creepy, isolated village, and I'm starting to think my odds of survival are plummeting. Every single night, the atmosphere shifts into something truly sinister. Everyone in the village proceeds to do the exact same thing. They light their oil lamps, plunging the place into flickering, claustrophobic shadows. It feels like they are barricading themselves against some unspeakable, looming terror that's just waiting outside. I lie there, pretending to be asleep, while my heart hammers against my ribs. The most terrifying part? The sheer, suffocating silence of it all. Even the people who supposedly saved me are acting like they're harboring a dark secret. You realize, with a sinking feeling in your gut, that you simply cannot trust a soul here. More of that horrible laughter drifts in, muffled by the thin walls. Sudden, pain screams cut through the night, and my hair stands on end. They are talking about fresh meat again, and I'm pretty sure the menu item is me. Someone hisses for the other to keep their voice down. They're clearly paranoid about waking me up, which is very considerate of them, I suppose. They decide to wait until tomorrow at this time to make their move. Lucky me, a deadline. I tell myself I can't just sit here like a sitting duck and wait to be served for dinner. But look at me. I'm a mess, practically held together by sheer spite and bandages. Moving freely has become a logistical nightmare, and my situation is looking grim. I rack my brain, desperately searching for any sort of way out of this trap. Suddenly, an interface flickers in my mind, suggesting I can strengthen things by spending my own lifespan. It asks if I want to commit to a 10-day lifespan deduction for a power-up. I stare at the prompt, wondering if this is a miracle or just another way to die faster. It cycles again, offering a 3-day deduction this time, which sounds much less painful. The prompt demands a 3-day lifespan sacrifice again, as if it's getting impatient. It keeps asking, like a telemarketer from hell, whether I'm going to bite. Now it wants 20 days? The price just keeps jumping around like a faulty gas meter. 15 days this time. Honestly, the lack of consistent pricing is truly insulting. 10 days again. At least it's settling on a price I can stomach, relatively speaking. I'm so confused, wondering what it even feels like to have my life force drained away. I decide to go for it, and the sensation is surprisingly real, too real. My Transmigrator golden finger is finally active, and it's charging me for the privilege of existing. The power to strengthen literally anything. At least my new life has a gimmick. I start with a 1-day trial run, dipping my toe into this metaphysical pool. I throw in another day, just to make sure I'm not hallucinating from hunger. The enhancement is complete, though I'm now technically a day closer to the grave. I check my stats. 8 years and 32 days left. Oh, wonderful. I'm sitting here with only 8 years of life remaining, which is quite the retirement plan. I bet those 2 old weirdos are behind this. They've been acting shifty since day one. They've been feeding me something that's definitely not on the recommended food pyramid. I'll make a mental note. I am absolutely going to settle the score with them. Wait, this isn't just a buff. It's a total, from-the-ground-up reconstruction. If this is how it works, I have to ask myself a very important question. Can I use this to juice up my own actual combat ability? It doesn't look like I can strengthen my own body, which is a bit of a letdown. I have to get creative and look for a different angle to exploit this. Maybe I can do it this way instead. It's worth a shot, right? My hands shake a little. Will this even work, or will I just waste my precious time? The interface highlights the object. Enhanceable. It's game on. I can't help but laugh. It actually worked. Who needs talent when you have a system glitch? 30 days of life. That's a month of my life just to see if I can make this better. Do I really want to spend that much? It's a steep price, but I'm desperate. I don't have time to be frugal when my life is on the line. I confirm the enhancement. Success. The item hums with a new, dangerous energy. 8 years and 2 days left. I'm aging like fine wine, unfortunately. I look at the mechanical crossbow I've just finished building. Not bad for an amateur. It's equipped with a traction bolt and a skull crusher. Perfect for home security, or whatever this is. This thing is a genuine masterpiece for a casual murderer, which is exactly the vibe I'm going for. It's a solid piece of hardware, honestly. 30 days of my life well spent, if I say so myself. But one crossbow is just an accessory. I think I need a little more insurance. It offers another boost for 60 days. 60 days. Is it made of gold? I weigh the cost against my survival, and, well, my life is worth more than my future, I guess. Ugh, how do I even justify this to myself? I just go for it. A trap this refined must have come from a master hunter's imagination. The message is clear. No prey can escape this cage once it snaps shut. Another 60 days gone. My lifespan is draining away like water in a sieve. I feel weaker than ever, my body protesting every little movement. But if this buys me a ticket to take down those old monsters, it'll be worth every second. Everything is worth the price if it keeps me breathing for another day. Tomorrow night, I'll be ready for them. Let the games begin. I hear a voice calling out, asking if I'm awake yet. Here we go. They call my name again, their voice dripping with fake, cloying concern. I ask old Zhao, with a hint of fatigue, why he's bothering me at this hour. I suggest we postpone whatever this is until the morning. Not that I care, really. He scoffs, saying they can't possibly wait until morning. How dramatic. I start to panic, asking what they're trying to do, but they're already moving. He mutters something about running out of blood bamboo. What a lovely household ingredient. They spell it out plainly. They need to butcher me. My fresh flesh is the specific ingredient they're looking for today. Apparently, they needed to trade for more supplies at the local Taoist temple. Blood bamboo, snow bamboo. They're talking about my life like it's a grocery list. The Taoist temple? What kind of insane, twisted world have I landed in? The wife chimes in, complaining that her husband is wasting too much time chatting. She lists all the care they've given me, acting like they're running a charity ward. She insists that me repaying them with my life is only fair. How generous of her. I let out a sharp, sudden noise, bracing myself for the fight. The old man shrieks, calling me names as if I'm the one being unreasonable here. He bellows that I should just die already, screaming like his life depends on it. I trigger the trap, and the sounds of chaos erupt in the small room. My God, this thing is actually terrifyingly effective. 30 days of my life spent on this, and looking at the results, it was a total bargain. I laugh, echoing their earlier taunts back at them with significantly more style. He yells that I have to die today. Honestly, the lack of variety in these death threats is getting tiresome. I panic as things go from bad to worse in the span of a heartbeat. I blink, trying to process the sheer absurdity of my current situation. I let out a hysterical laugh. If I'm going to go down, I might as well do it with a sense of humor. He calls me a little bastard and insists I'm finished, which is a bit premature, don't you think? My survival instincts scream that the situation is incredibly dangerous. I realize that this humble little oil lamp is the key to my staying alive. I let out a shaky breath, trying to steady my nerves. I stare at the monstrosity in front of me and wonder exactly what kind of hell I've stumbled into. The interface suggests an enhancement, but at the cost of 80 days of my life. It asks if I really want to commit to that. It's like it's mocking my mortality. I yell at the system to do it immediately. I'm not playing hard to get with death. I take down the Ghost Shadow Mastiff, and it's surprisingly satisfying. I get a lifespan boost of 0.1 days. Well, every little bit counts toward my retirement, I guess. It dawns on me that this is actually the secret to extending my life in this nightmare. This isn't a death trap, it's a gold mine, if you have the stomach for it. I realize I've struck it rich, as long as I don't become the currency myself. I shout in defiance, letting off some steam as the fight continues. I catch my breath, feeling the adrenaline still surging through my veins. I taunt them to stop running, feeling a strange, dark thrill in the hunt. I call out, mocking them by asking if they aren't going to try my fresh Transmigrated flesh after all. I tell them that they're missing out on a once-in-a-lifetime culinary opportunity. I ask if they really don't want to bite, playing the bait with a grin. It's a shame, really. I was just starting to get into the rhythm of farming lifespan. I check in with the system, curious about my current life balance. It reports the kill of the Ghost Shadow Mastiff, tallying up my loot. I've accumulated a total of 182 days of extra lifespan. Not bad for a night's work. My remaining time is 8 years and 11 days. I'm basically immortal now. Well, sort of. I allow myself a moment of satisfaction. It's a good result. I've managed to survive the night, which is an achievement in this hellscape. But I'm not naive enough to let my guard down yet. Everything about this world is clearly, obviously, and dangerously wrong. I decide it's time to do some digging. I start searching around Old Man Way's house for anything useful. I wonder if there's anything tucked away that I can actually use to survive. I find notes saying the water is contaminated, which is just great for my hydration plants. The berries aren't edible, so I guess I'm on a strict not-poison diet for now. At least the ground rats are edible. I'm officially a survivor in the culinary sense. I stumble upon a map drawn by Old Man Way, which looks promising. I'm completely clueless about this world, so every piece of data is precious. A map is basically an encyclopedia for someone as lost as I am. Maybe the map itself has a few secrets to share if I tweak it. I decide to see if I can enhance it. Why not, right? The idea of dynamic markers is quite sophisticated for this archaic place. I have no idea if this will actually work, but I'm feeling lucky. The cost is a full year of my life. That's a steep price for a navigation app. It asks if I'm sure, probably hoping I'll change my mind and keep my life. A whole year is a lot to trade for some ink on paper. But having a map with dynamic updates? That could save my skin more than once. I decide that, all things considered, it's not a bad trade at all. I confirm the enhancement, holding my breath. I've obtained a quicksand map, which sounds fancy and slightly ominous. It tracks wind direction and shifts in the earth to show me what's happening. It's a real-time monitor for the entire area, which is honestly a bit overkill. Those 3 little grass symbols clearly represent herbs, or so I hope. The boar head icon is definitely a predator, and I'm going to avoid that entirely. Wait, why is there a red X marked on this thing? It's marked as a forbidden death zone. Sounds like a lovely vacation spot. Maybe it's even worse than those shadow beasts, which is a horrifying thought. I wonder if there are actually immortals or divine beings hiding in this mess. Is it possible to find a real cultivation manual in a place like this? Can I actually manifest a cultivation manual just by force of will? I give it a try with a little bit of hopeful optimism. I aim for the top tier, because why settle for mediocrity? I rush to enhance it, my heart pounding in my chest. It says it's enhanceable. Holy cow, this actually works? I'm stunned. I can genuinely cultivate in this crazy world. The cost is 10,000 years and 72 days. Seriously? I curse. 10,000 years of my life for a manual? That's highway robbery. If I actually had 10,000 years, I wouldn't need a manual, would I? I wouldn't need to cultivate at all. I'd be living forever on the beach. It must be the top-tier version, which is way out of my league. The requirements are just absurdly high for a beginner like me. I'll just have to settle for something a bit more realistic. I pick a more modest cultivation manual to try for instead. The system processes it, and I wait with bated breath. It turns out there is absolutely no room for picking up bargains here. 6 years and 7 months. That's the price for this one. It's 6 years and 7 months of my life, which is a hard pill to swallow. Whatever, I'm all in. It's time to commit. I let out a gasp as the energy flows into me. I really hope this is worth the years I'm losing. Everything in heaven and earth has its limits, but this manual claims otherwise. It says the evergreen way can last for 10,000 years of youth. It actually works. I can feel the change happening. My broken leg is knitting itself back together in record time. This incredible power is all thanks to the Evergreen Manual. I'll call this newfound strength Evergreen Chi, and it feels great. I call out to Old Man Wei, sounding much more confident than I feel. I tell him the time has finally come. I announce that it's time to leave for the temple, just like he wanted. I remind Old Man Wei that the hour is upon us. It's time to head to the Taoist temple, whether I like it or not. He grumbles that there isn't enough blood curse to go around. He reiterates that they have no choice but to butcher me. My fresh flesh is their only ticket to survival, apparently. They needed to trade for more blood candles at the temple. What a charming economy. This world is profoundly evil. Nothing here makes any sense. The Taoist temple probably isn't a holy place, but a den of thieves. I warn Old Man Wei that we're almost at the 5-hour mark. They yell outside, wondering why I'm taking so long to come out. They ask if I'm dead in there, which is a very optimistic question on their part. I poke my head out and realize, with a sinking heart, that it's just Old Man Wei standing there. They claim Old Man Wei got himself injured while out hunting, which sounds like a total fabrication. They say he's lying in the house, probably waiting to ambush me, the suspicious old codger. Since Old Man Wei is supposedly indisposed, they turn their attention to me. They command me to escort him to the Taoist temple, as if I'm their personal taxi service. I ask what kind of place this temple actually is, just to see what kind of lie they spin. They laugh, explaining that it's just the standard rule for everyone in Shaolin Village. Apparently, we all have to head to the temple every month to request blood candles. It's a mandatory pilgrimage for every household in the village. The only exemption, they note cheerily, is if the entire family is wiped out. They narrow their eyes and ask if I'm planning on refusing to go. They ask me again, clearly waiting for me to pick the wrong answer. I immediately agree, confirming that I absolutely want to go. I value my limbs, thanks. I can read the room, and the room is currently screaming dangerous. I realize that if I dare to say a single word of protest, I'm done for. These villagers would snap instantly and go on a rampage if I crossed them. Even with my fancy mechanical crossbow, I'm just one guy. There is absolutely no way I'm winning a fight against this entire mob. I force a smile and agree, acting like I'm thrilled for the trip. They tell me to start walking, so I follow along with my evergreen acting skills. The geography checks out. Herbs, trees, rivers, it's all exactly where the map said it would be. My quicksand map is holding up perfectly, which is the only good news I've had all day. Wait a minute, I glance at the direction we're headed. The map indicates the temple is located exactly at the red X. Oh, that's just perfect. The guide invites everyone to follow him into the temple grounds. He asks us all to cherish the moment, which sounds deeply ominous. He speaks about passing on the cycle of rebirth, and I just want to go home. A junior disciple reports that the Shaotin villagers have finally arrived. The man calls himself by Yunzi, and he looks about as genuine as a $3 bill. He claims he's here to preach the way to us all today. The villagers fall to their knees, calling him an old, immortal master. They keep chanting it like a desperate prayer, which is just pathetic to watch. One of them is screaming for salvation, and it's truly heart-wrenching. I look around and wonder if everyone here has finally lost their collective minds. These two Taoists give off the vibe of a bad headache that just won't go away. Old immortal master? Please, I've seen better acting at a carnival. They're clearly nothing more than demonic, twisted Taoist fakes. He starts chanting about how the heavenly way has changed. He mumbles about everything being destined for destruction. He goes on about greed being the ultimate sin, ironic, coming from him. He recites the 8 turns of the death scripture, and the atmosphere gets instantly suffocating. My internal alarm is blaring. Something is seriously, dreadfully wrong here. This isn't just a world of bandits and gangs. It's something far worse. The villagers are acting completely insane, and I know exactly who's casting the spells. It's those 2 fakes behind the podium, obviously. I make sure to stay alert. I am not getting played by these guys. Thank goodness for the Evergreen Manual. It's proving its worth already. It was definitely worth the 6 years of my life I traded for it. Yunzi says he's here to save us from our suffering. He offers us this spirit medicine as if he's doing us a massive favor. But of course, there's a catch. He expects a tribute in return. He demands the usual price, our flesh and blood as payment. I feel a sharp sting, like my very life force is being sliced away. They mumble some nonsense about being protected by heaven. My own energy is being tugged at, as if I'm in the middle of a bad transaction. I ask myself what kind of cursed thing I've actually become. The power these demonic Taoists wield is unfathomable. With my current level, I'm basically a mosquito trying to fight a hurricane. The system issues a warning. My lifespan is draining away. It's happening again, and it feels just as miserable as the first time. I let out a sharp, pained breath. This hurts more than I'd like to admit. It's draining me dry, and there isn't a thing I can do about it. So that's how Old Man Wei gets those creepy lamps. He steals it from our lifespans. And the medicine too, which is probably just poison in a fancy wrapper. I look at the pill, and I'm definitely not adding that to my dinner plans. Yunzi announces the end of his lecture. Thank all the heavens for that. He tells his junior to show us out, like we're trash being taken to the curb. The junior disciple tells us to follow him. His smile is fake as the master's. I hum to myself, trying to keep my expression neutral while I process this nightmare. Everything about this place is just wrong, from the smell to the chanting. It's so incredibly wicked, my skin is literally crawling. I was right from the start, they are definitely Dao, demonic fakers. I desperately ask the system how much life I have left in the tank. 2 months and 1 day, which is basically a death sentence in this world. I gasp. I'm burning through my time faster than a candle in a gale. That cursed statue back there really did a number on me. It swallowed up 3 whole months of my life, which is just robbery. Staying in Shaolin Village is just asking for a slow, agonizing death. I have to get out of here as fast as my legs can carry me. The map only shows up to this point, and it's going blank. It seems like the road forward just ceases to exist entirely. I guess I'm on my own now. Let's hope luck is on my side. I hit another fork in the path, and I'm getting really tired of this. Wait, this is the same rock. I've walked in a circle. It's the legendary ghost trapping wall. Of course it is, why wouldn't it be? I hear laughter echoing, probably from those 2 fakes, enjoying my struggle. They've blocked off the entire village, trapping us all inside. They aren't letting anyone leave, which makes my getaway plan rather difficult. There's literally nowhere left to run, which is a fantastic realization. I realize that the only way to survive is to take those 2 down. It's them, or me. and I'm feeling remarkably selfish about my own life today. But how am I actually supposed to kill them with my current stats? I have to push every single one of my system's capabilities to the absolute limit. That pill they gave us is clearly full of dark, nasty secrets. I'm not touching that thing. I'd rather starve to death. Maybe I can use it to reinforce my gear instead. That's a much better use. It wants 30 days of my life for an enhancement? Are they joking? That's way too much. I don't have that kind of time to burn. It's asking for 8 days of my lifespan to enhance this thing. My life is essentially becoming a subscription service. 8 days a pill? 10 pills would be 80 days. I'm basically paying with years of my retirement fund. I really need to lower my standards, or I'm going to run out of days before I even start. Option B is non-toxic and harmless. That sounds like a winner to me, but I can't exactly ignore the cultivation boost either. It's a dilemma. 3 days of lifespan for this upgrade. That's a bit more reasonable, I suppose. 3 days? I can live with that. It's barely a weekend of my life, really. I take one just to test the waters, hoping I don't turn into a frog. Wow, that is one intense, metallic, iron-heavy blood smell. Delightful. This is the signature pill of the flesh jar, the blood marrow essence pill. Catchy name. It's actually working, which is a pleasant and very startling surprise. I can feel the evergreen chi flowing through my meridians like a race car. It's growing 10 times faster than before. I'm basically an overnight success story. The ghost things will probably crawl out again tonight, I'm sure. And that means more lifespan farming. It's the worst kind of side job. I need to hurry back and get to work. Time is money, and my life is literally the currency. I need a massive stockpile of time if I want to enhance my real gear. Only then will I have the capital to actually fight those demonic Taoist frauds. Oh, look who decided to show up for dinner. Right on time. I take down a shadow mastiff and grab 51 days of life. That's a good haul. Another one bites the dust, and I get a measly 0.1 days. Not even worth the effort, honestly. This is going great. With the help of these pills, I'm practically soaring. My evergreen manual is advancing in leaps and bounds, finally. My physical stats are hitting the roof. I feel like a completely new person. Plus, hunting these shadow mutts is turning out to be quite the lucrative hobby. My lifespan is finally climbing back up. I'm actually going to have a future. 10 years and 65 days left. I'm basically a regular teenager again. With this many shadow beasts wandering around, maybe I can afford to get ambitious. It's time to think about upgrading something truly terrifyingly powerful. I chant the name, Divine Nine Heavens. Sounds sufficiently intimidating. It's a fancy name, even if I'm just making it up on the spot. The junior disciple asks if his brother needs anything, acting like a loyal errand boy. He mentions chopping down the statue in Shouten Village. Oh, the Taoist grumbles that the blood aura hasn't grown in days. Something's wrong. He says it's even showing signs of weakening. I'm definitely not going to tell him why. He expresses shock that such a thing could possibly happen. He suspects the little guys, the shadow beasts, are having issues. He tells his junior to go down the mountain and have a look-see. The junior promises not to worry, sounding remarkably eager for a hunt. He's off, and my gut reaction is to start hyperventilating. He says if anyone was stupid enough to touch his little guys, there will be consequences. He threatens to rip their heart out for his dinner wine. That's a bit extreme, don't you think? It's been ages since it rained this hard. It's almost ominous. Something about the weather feels off. My instincts are in overdrive. My eyes widen. The demonic Taoist is actually coming down the mountain. I wonder who he's targeting. I hope it's just a random bystander. Is it me he's after, or did someone else just get lucky? Wait, don't tell me it's actually me. My recent hunting spree must have hit their supply line, didn't it? I think I've officially poked the bear, or, in this case, the demonic Taoist. I peer out, wondering which of the two freaks is coming for me. Is it Qing Yunzi or Bai Yunzi? I hope it's not both. The thought of both of them showing up makes my skin go cold. I have to prepare for the absolute worst-case scenario right now. I'm going to build that thing, right here, right now. No more waiting. Nice. It's coming together, and it looks better than I hoped. I squint into the rain, trying to see who's skulking around. Is it someone from the Yinyang Palace? They look like trouble. I don't smell the signature stench of the palace, so maybe not. He looks at the little guys and wonders what's happened to them. He thinks they look fine, which is good for me, I guess. He wonders why there are so many missing, getting suspicious. He knows the blood candle lamps only drive them away, not kill them. They definitely can't kill the beasts, which is a relief. He concludes someone must be buying them up in bulk. He starts laughing, finding the mystery interesting. Great, I'm entertainment. He looks around the village, still trying to solve his little riddle. He wonders if someone still has their wits about them, uncorrupted by the aura. He spots me, a fresh face he doesn't recognize. Wonderful. He traces my location, pointing right at my house. He decides I'm the lucky winner of his attention. He realizes it's me. Time to play. He's definitely here for me, and I'm definitely not ready. It's a life or death gamble now, and I'm all in. 1 year and 15 days to upgrade. I'm going to be a corpse by then. Screw being strong, I'm already out of time. There's no room for saving lifespan anymore. It's now or never. 3 years and 36 days? Still not enough, I need more juice. Can I make it any stronger? I need a miracle here. 10 years and 60 days. That's the big one. Yes, that's exactly the kind of destructive power I need. I dumped 10 years into the enhancement. Bye, retirement. Come on then, you old demonic bag of bones. If you want to eat me, you'd better be prepared to break your teeth. The moon is at its peak. The tide is rising. A good omen? I'll take all the help I can get. He calls out, asking if I'm hiding like a coward in my house. He's coming for a visit, and I didn't even have time to tidy up. He taunts me to stop hiding behind closed doors like a mouse. He asked me to come out for a little chat, as if we're friends. Oh crap, he brought his own pet shadow mastiffs with him. He's thrilled that I've finally shown my face. How thoughtful. He asks where I got this oil lamp, eyeing it suspiciously. I tell him if he wants it that badly, he can come and take it. He grunts, his patience clearly wearing thin. Good. He attacks. Here we go, the moment of truth. I call his attack a cheap trick, trying to sound cool while trembling. I laugh at his clumsy attempt at martial arts, even if it's terrifying. He lets out a yell of surprise as my trap finally triggers. Another scream, and he's finally feeling the burn. He lets out a final, pathetic gasp as he hits the ground. That's what you get for being a jerk. Well, he was certainly a demonic Taoist to the very end, mostly demonic, though. Even with my fancy, evergreen manual keeping me in the fight, it was close. I'm clearly not in his league yet. I barely managed to survive that scrap. I tell myself I was totally prepared for this, mostly because I panicked early and built a gun. He demands to know where I got that mountain climbing gear. Curiosity killed the cat, buddy. He promises me a whole corpse if I talk. How generous of him to offer that as a reward. I tell him exactly what he can do with that offer. Politeness isn't really my priority right now. I inform him that the times have changed, Taoist. Evolution, baby. He laughs, calling me a foolish, pathetic little creature. Whatever helps you sleep, pal. He sneers at my little hidden weapon, as if it's a child's toy. Then he freezes. Oh, Did he realize he's holding the wrong end of the stick? He gasps, demanding to know if I'm in the embryonic realm. I don't even know what that is, but sure. He insists that no matter how weird my weapon is, it shouldn't be working. He asks what I can possibly do to him. I'm thinking a lot, actually. I think I've got him pinned down, or so I hope. Wait, no? He's still twitching. The system isn't giving me a notification. That's a very bad sign. The guy isn't dead yet. Remind me to double tap next time. He tries to kick my door down. In his state? Dream on, buddy. I greet him like an old friend, mostly because I'm currently holding a loaded gun. I ask if one bullet wasn't quite enough for him. I'm a giver, really. I send him 2 more as a parting gift. Don't mention it. Really, it's on the house. Finally, I get the kill confirmation on the flesh officer. It says I've taken down the demonic Taoist Qin Yunzi. 16 years and 76 days of life. Holy mother of, I'm rich. Wait, did I read that right? 16 years? My jaw just hit the floor. I am officially a man of means. Time to go shopping for some immortality. Wait, Qin Yunzi was just a glorified errand boy for his junior brother? If he was worth this much time, what does the big boss carry? I wonder what would happen if I took out Bai Yunzi too. I shake my head. What am I even thinking? Let's not get suicidal. Bai Yunzi is definitely a different level of dangerous. With my current stats, I'd be lucky to survive a stare down with him. I can't handle that guy. Not yet. Not ever if I can avoid it. I need to flee this cursed place before my luck runs out completely. I check the body, looking for anything useful to take with me. He's got to have some trick for breaking through that ghost wall back home. These demonic Taoists really are just ridiculously creepy, aren't they? My standard weapons aren't doing a lick of damage to their defenses. If I hadn't enhanced my anti-demon gun beforehand, I'd be toast by now. That was way too close to a disaster. My heart is still doing flips. Why isn't there anything here? Don't tell me I was wrong about him. Did I jump to the wrong conclusion? My intuition is failing me today. Maybe the key to breaking the ghost wall isn't on Qin Yunzi after all. I spot his tattered robe. Hey, it says enhanceable. What does that mean? It wants over a year of my life to boost a piece of dirty laundry? It asks if I'm sure. I'm honestly just annoyed at the price tag. An entire year for a robe? This thing better give me flight or invisibility. This can't just be a regular robe. It's got to be something special. I use the system to run a quick, harmless diagnostic test. It's asking for that same price again. At least it's consistent, I guess. It wants to know if I'm ready to commit to the upgrade. Good. It's not reacting to my thoughts, just the data. The cost didn't change, which is a very interesting piece of information. It seems this robe has a built-in function to bypass ghost walls naturally. Bingo. It's the key I needed all along. I laugh. My little secret here won't stay a secret for very long. Bai Yunzi could show up at any moment, and I really don't want to meet him. This place is officially a no-go zone for me from here on out. I wish the Buddha luck with you guys, as if that matters. Not that the Buddha is actually doing much for us in this nightmare. The big boss notices his junior's spiritual aura has vanished. Oh, he wonders if someone actually dared to raid his little prison colony. He thinks his blood evil buildup is basically ready to go now. He's planning on sacrificing the whole village to fuel his next ritual. He insists that nothing can go wrong now, not a single hiccup. He says he needs to squash any little bugs that might get in his way. I hold my breath, waiting for the path to clear. Finally, I'm out. The sweet, sweet taste of freedom. I'm like a fish in the ocean now. Nothing can hold me back. I'm soaring like a bird, mostly because I'm running like a maniac. I check my quicksand map to see where I'm headed. 10 miles down the road, there's an old, broken temple. Perfect. I'll crash there for the night, just to stay off the grid. I'll worry about tomorrow when tomorrow actually arrives. It's a bit of a dive, honestly, not exactly 5-star accommodation. But when you're on the run, you don't really get to be picky. I let out a sigh. I really need a vacation. Someone asks me where I'm from. Great, a conversation. I tell them I'm just crashing here for a quick break. I ask them if they're going to be a problem about it. They ask who I am, looking at me like I'm a suspicious stray cat. I tell them my name and stick to my guns. I'm proud of my record, even if it's currently a bit dusty. I introduce myself as Li Baojing from the inspection office. I tell them I'm here to investigate those flesh jar idiots. They ask if I'm really going to shout in village, looking concerned. They ask if I'm going entirely by myself. Yep, just me and my gun. Those cowards from the flesh jar are just mice in the dark. I'm enough to handle them. No need for backup. Thank you. I ask if they agree. I really love the sound of my own voice today. Wait, why are they looking at me like that? They start acting weird. What are you doing with that hand? I stop playing nice. I recognize that look, you rat. I could smell that stench from a mile away, you fool. It's that distinct, nauseating smell of a demonic Taoist robe. I'm going to skin you alive for this little act, and then I'm digging out that flesh jar from your chest. They start screaming, and I realize I might have just messed up. Great, I've just realized I've accidentally become the body double for someone I'm currently trying to kill. He yells for me to die, the demonic monster, and comes at me with everything he's got. I frantically tell him to wait a second and listen to my side of the story. He scoffs, asking why on earth he should bother listening to anything I have to say. He curses, declaring he's going to chop me into little pieces right now. He calls me a thieving rat, which is a bit harsh considering I'm currently the victim of a misunderstanding. He suggests I go explain myself to the King of Hell, which I'm hoping to delay for a few more decades. I shout that I really am not one of those flesh jar freaks. I desperately point out that there's no horrifying face growing out of my back. I explain that I just snatched this robe from a guy who wasn't using it anymore. He pauses, realizing I'm actually telling the truth about the missing monster flesh. He looks confused, noting that I don't act like a professional martial artist. And since I don't bow down to any gods, I'm an anomaly. He asks how a nobody like me managed to steal such a cursed, evil garment. I tell him the previous owner was already half dead when I found him. I basically just picked up his trash and kept the stylish robe. I agree that if this cursed outfit is causing all this trouble, I'm more than happy to strip it off and leave it in the dirt. I ditch the robe, feeling significantly less like a demon-worshipping creep. I turn to Li Baojing and decide to play the curious student. I ask him what he meant by martial artists bowing to gods. He looks at me like I'm an idiot for not knowing the basics. I play the humble country bumpkin card. It usually keeps people from killing me. I beg Li Baojing to explain the lore so I don't die of ignorance later. He starts in on what a martial artist actually is. He says it's the path of entering the Tao through physical martial cultivation. It involves secret techniques to toughen your skin and harden your bones. It's supposed to be the legitimate, grand path to power. Then he moves on to the bit about bowing to gods. He laughs, explaining it's just like those disgusting flesh jar cultists. They worship dark, evil gods and serve as vessels for calamity. They literally invite evil spirits and dark energy into their own bodies. He sighs, lamenting the current state of our messed up world. The people who are actually willing to work hard and refine their own bodies are becoming a rare, dying breed, apparently. He tells me the cultist robe had some uses for him, oddly enough. But as a reward for not being a monster, he gives me something else. He hands me an item, swearing there's no hidden trap inside it. I take it, wondering if I should trust the guy who just tried to kill me. He tells me that 50 miles north is Qingfeng County. He claims it's a bit safer, which I take with a grain of salt. He hands me his official waste token as a recommendation. He says people in the city will respect it, or at least pretend to. I thank him, keeping my distance while I back away slowly. I bid him a quick goodbye and hope I never see him again. Li Baojing watches me, muttering that I've got guts and a sharp mind. He concludes that I'm a real character, for better or worse. He thinks I might actually make a name for myself in the county. Assuming I can survive the yin-yang curse, of course, no pressure. I tell myself not to trust a word from Li Baojing's mouth. Qingfeng County probably has its own host of horrors waiting for me. But hey, it's gotta be better than that hellhole Shout-in village. Oh great, the guy who recommended me is already making a profit off my head. He's probably getting a commission for dragging me into this trap. A profit? What exactly is he making money off of? I asked the old man what he meant by that little comment. He says it's nothing. The county is just expanding its population. New residents are apparently a hot commodity right now. The people who bring them in get a reward for the effort. He tells me to move along, and that the city handles housing assignments. Since I'm tied to Li Baozhong, I guess I have to play along. I'll give them a bit of face, if only to keep them from poking too deep. He promises to pick me a nice spot in the city. I look around at the people here and wonder why they all look so drained. They look like they've been completely hollowed out from the inside. What exactly is the weirdness going on in this county? He drops me off at Compound 18, Single Lane. He tells me this is going to be my new humble abode. I thank the old guy for the guided tour and wave him off. He pauses, feeling the need to give me some unsolicited advice. He says it's normal for a young man to be full of fire, but he insists that I really need to practice some restraint. He tells me not to drown myself in the local temptations. He warns me about the dangers of the gentle embrace. The gentle embrace? That sounds suspiciously like a trap. My gut feeling was right. This place is just as rotten as the village. Qingfeng County is clearly hiding its own share of demons. I'll just have to play it by ear and try not to die. The room itself looks boringly normal for now. I shouldn't waste time. I need to get back to my evergreen cultivation. I try to meditate, but I hear a strange, soft noise. A voice whispers to me, complaining that it's feeling rather hot. It keeps repeating it, like a bad pop song stuck in my head. I open my eyes, and, wait, who are you and why are you here? I ask the intruder what she thinks she's doing in my room. She starts crying about how uncomfortable she is. Very subtle. I scoff. Does she really think a bit of beauty can break my resolve? She whispers that the night is young and there's no need to rush. She invites me to join her in some ultimate pleasure. Oh please. She giggles, clearly thinking she's got me wrapped around her finger. She's laughing again, and I'm just trying to keep my lunch down. I push her away, and she acts like I've just slapped her. She fakes a tremor, acting like I'm some kind of terrifying brute. She's really committed to this act, I'll give her that. That was an incredibly sophisticated piece of dark magic. Even though I was on my guard, I still tripped right into it. I actually felt it take hold of my mind for a second. If I didn't have the evergreen manual to ground me, I'd probably be halfway to a very bad decision right now. She tries to lure me in one last time, acting like she's still in charge. My evergreen manual is only good for playing defense, and that's not going to cut it. If I actually want to wipe out this persistent, annoying, evil spirit, I'm going to need that ancient bronze lamp that shredded the Shadow Mastiff. I activate the lamp, and a strange energy flares up. It says I've shifted a wisp of yin-yang evil aura, and, wait, did I just gain 0.1 days of life? I'm genuinely surprised. Even this creepy stuff can apparently be converted into years for me. Another wisp of the aura, another 0.1 days added to my clock. I'm starting to think this is a very efficient way to live forever. But seriously, what the hell even is this yin-yang aura? I realize with a sigh that I'm still basically a tourist in this lethal world. I decide I need to stop hiding and actually go out tomorrow. I'll need to figure out how to gather some real intel without dying. This setup is clearly the handiwork of those flesh jar fanatics. They've sealed off the blood traces perfectly. Everything is completely isolated from the outside world. If I wasn't wearing this cursed blood aura robe right now, I honestly don't think I would have been able to sneak in here. Suddenly, I freeze. Who's there? They're at the third level profound mystery realm. That's not good. Why is someone at this power level hanging out in a dump like Shouten Village? What kind of god worshipper is lurking around here, and why? The intruder blames me, calling me a dog for keeping my mouth shut. He declares that today is the day he takes my head as a trophy. He says he's doing it to avenge his poor junior brother. I'm sure he was a saint. Avenge your brother? Can we talk about this like rational people? I start backtracking, telling him I'm just a passerby who's clearly stumbled into a massive misunderstanding. I promise him I wasn't the one who offed his dear brother. He gestures to the blood robe I'm wearing and scoffs at my pathetic excuse. He says I can try to lie, but the evidence is literally all over me. I curse. This robe has officially ruined my life. A guy walks up, asking if I'm the new guy in the neighborhood. He wants to know how I'm doing, his tone way too casual for comfort. He asks me how I enjoyed last night. I have a feeling I know what he means. He keeps prying about last night. He's really committed to this weird chat. He says the experience was pretty good, which makes my skin crawl. He starts talking about how smooth and fair she was. He laughs, saying she's better than any of the girls back home. I decide to play the fool again. I ask him what the hell is going on here. I ask why the local magistrate is handing out wives like they're party favors. He gives me a look, asking if I realize I'm on Inyang Palace turf. He asks if I've never heard of the Inyang Aura before. I play dumb and ask him what this Inyang Aura actually is. He tells me to follow him so we can talk away from prying ears. He starts a history lesson, starting a century ago. He says 108 disaster stars fell from the sky, birthing evil gods. The world was suddenly flooded with a new wave of god worshippers. All sorts of divine arts and temples started popping up everywhere. They basically carved up the entire Dalian Empire for themselves. The royal family is stuck hiding in Central Province, clinging to their last scraps of power. They're basically just hanging on by a thread, waiting for the end. Those divine temples have become the actual rulers of the world. They're the real ones calling all the shots, no matter who's on the throne. He notes that our Qing province has 39 different counties. Every official government agency is just a puppet at this point. The Inyang Palace just pulls their strings whenever they feel like it. He says that every single night, at the hour of the ox, the Inyang Palace unleashes that horrific aura over the city. It's designed to stir up everyone's darkest desires. And also they can drain our life essence to feed their cultivation. They view us regular people as nothing more than raw materials. And honestly, every single temple in the land does the exact same thing. I agree that the palace and the flesh jar guys are two sides of the same coin. They just have different, equally repulsive ways of doing it. The flesh jar cultists are a lot more brutal with their blood-sealing stuff. The Inyang Palace is more like boiling a frog in water, slow and annoying. But my strengthening system, it seems fundamentally and inherently opposed to everything these temples represent. I've noticed that I only get stronger when I destroy things related to them. That's the only way I can actually gain more lifespan. Other people might be able to hide, or try to run away, but I've got absolutely no choice in the matter anymore. I have to face this nightmare head-on if I want to survive. He asks what I'm spacing out about. I need to look a bit more normal. I tell him the stuff he's saying is a bit too deep for me. I act like I'm genuinely spooked by the whole explanation. He tells me not to get too worked up about it. He reminds me it's just pulling on your desires, nothing more. It won't kill you, at least not in the short term. But he gives me one very important piece of advice. He says I must avoid the inspection office like the plague. Don't get tangled up with them under any circumstances. They're in charge of maintaining order in the county, which means they're constantly in bed with those divine temples. Nothing good ever comes from bumping into those guys. Constantly working with those evil temples, huh? Sounds like I'm going to have to get involved with them after all. I thank him for the heads up, playing the role perfectly. I tell him I've got it. Message received and understood. I'll make sure to stay 1,000,000 miles away from the inspection office. He watches me go, wondering if I really am as clueless as I look. Maybe I'm just being paranoid, he thinks. He's still stuck on that weird energy fluctuation from last night. He's trying to figure out if it had anything to do with me. I realize that if I want to live, I need more lifespan. And to get that, I have to find those temples. Joining the inspection office might actually be my best play here. But the first requirement for joining them is that you have to be a martial artist first. I've got the evergreen manual skills down, obviously. But in the eyes of everyone else, I'm just a civilian. It's officially official. As far as the world is concerned, I'm just a boring, powerless civilian. Apparently, in this nightmare of a world, Being a martial artist isn't just about throwing punches. There's some weird, specific requirement I'm missing. Signing up at a martial arts school is basically my best bet for survival right now. The only problem? The price tag is absolutely extortionate. Between what I looted off Qin Yunzi and the Wei couple's stash, I've got exactly 3 silver taels to my name. I'm practically a billionaire, clearly. I'm way short of the tuition fees. This is going to be a problem. Looks like I have to literally trade my life for cash to make this work. A year and 90 days of lifespan just to upgrade this little bronze item? That's a lot of living to give up. It asks if I really want to drop that much life. It's like it's mocking my mortality. The gap between mud and gold is apparently measurable in months and years. Is the cost just too damn high for me to handle? With 17 years and 23 days left, I guess I can afford the splurge. Now is definitely not the time to be a penny pincher. Once I finally get into the inspection office, I'll have plenty of ways to earn that stolen lifespan back. Fine, upgrade it. Let's do this before I change my mind. I watch the energy shift, holding my breath. The air suddenly gets heavy. That is some seriously intimidating pressure. Of course it's heavy. Master Bai is at the 4th level blood exchange realm. He's a legend out here in the outer city, someone you don't mess with. He asks if I'm really so ignorant that I don't know what blood exchange means. He starts lecturing me on the path of the martial artist. 1st level, skin grinding. Sounds like a fun way to exfoliate. 2nd level, bone breaking. Because why just be strong when you can be broken? 3rd level, organ refining. Sounds like a very unpleasant health retreat. 4th level, blood exchange. Finally, the big leagues. Every single step up the ladder is basically a complete, life-altering overhaul of your entire being. I nod, trying to look appropriately enlightened. A senior student announces that a new recruit has arrived. I step forward, greeting Master Bai with all the respect I can fake. He tells me to come closer, and I'm definitely not nervous at all. He says Master Bai is going to perform a bone-touching ceremony. Basically, he's going to measure my martial arts potential. The quality of your bone structure directly decides exactly how far you're going to get on this path. He pauses, sounding genuinely confused. He says my bone structure is completely, boringly average. But for some reason, he notes, I give off a sense of overflowing vitality. He describes it as an eternal, evergreen feeling. That's the system talking, buddy. I ask if something's wrong. I'm suddenly very self-conscious. He just dismisses it, telling the guy to take me away. He orders them to teach me the basic skin grinding techniques. The senior student mutters that he's tested nearly 1,000 recruits himself. He says he's seen every kind of bone structure you can imagine. But he admits this is the first time he's ever seen someone like me. I ask how the test went, hoping for a "you're a hidden prodigy" reveal. But everyone's going quiet, which is really starting to annoy me. He asks if the answer isn't already painfully obvious. There are billions of people in this world. And how many are born with top-tier potential? If I actually had world-class talent, Master Bai wouldn't be leaving me to a random senior student, would he? He says I'd already be the 7th official disciple. Maybe my talent is a bit lacking, I'll admit. But I've got a literal cheat code system in my head, so I'm definitely not going to lose to some arrogant genius. Becoming Master Bai's official disciple would be a dream, though. It's a guaranteed path to a limitless future. The current disciples are all living the high life. They're basically running the whole city, no big deal. The senior cuts off the chat and hands me some stuff. He gives me the school's secret skin grinding techniques, plus some crispy skin medicine packs, which sounds slightly delicious. He claims using these will double the efficiency of my training. He says if I can finish the skin grinding process, I'll finally be a real, honest-to-goodness martial artist. I thank him, trying to look like a dedicated student. I promise to train until I drop. I'm going to master this technique as fast as I can. He just chuckles to himself as I walk away. He calls me a silly junior under his breath. He thinks I'm just ridiculously naive about the world. He mutters that the martial path is a brutal, unforgiving grind. He spent 3 years just trying to make a dent in it. He laughs, asking if I think I'm the chosen one or something. I ignore his snickering and focus on my own plan. Master Bai is a 4th level blood exchange guy, sure. He's definitely the top dog in this little town. But looking at the bigger picture of the whole empire, he's really not that impressive, honestly. These martial arts techniques they're teaching have a massive amount of room for improvement. I want something custom-made for my needs. Something fast, efficient, and reliable, with rock-solid foundations for my future. Something that guarantees me a real chance at greatness. The system highlights it. Enhanceable. Here we go again. 7 years and 106 days to upgrade this. That's my retirement fund. 7 years of my life? Okay, no point crying about it now. I dump the time in, consider it a tribute to my own success. Suddenly, I feel a shift in the universe. Like a manual was written specifically for a guy named Dingy. This skin grinding technique is completely tailored for me. It says I need to use evergreen chi to nourish my physical body. It opens up every single pore on my skin, so I can absorb the energy of everything in heaven and earth, and start cultivating some real, raw vitality. 7 years of my life well spent. That was a total bargain. This is finally the skin grinding technique I've been waiting for. Oh right, there's this thing too. I've got the medicine pack to deal with as well. According to Senior Wang's advice, combining this with the medicinal bath should kick my progress into overdrive. I haven't the faintest clue what kind of chemicals are floating in this tub, but the system says I can enhance it for a mere month of my lifespan. Is perfection really just a month away? I'm clicking yes. Ugh, that is surprisingly comfortable. It's like a warm hug for my skin. Wait, never mind. It's actually starting to sting like fire now. I tell myself to hang in there, just a little longer. The yin-yang evil aura is almost over for the night. I encourage the other guy to just grit his teeth and endure it, too. Senior Wang walks in, surprised to see me up so early. I tell him the school's skin grinding technique and the bath are genuinely world-class. The system really did a number on these. I tell him that I think I've officially reached the goal. He warns me that skin grinding is a grueling, slow process, and tells me not to get discouraged or lose my head. He insists that I just need to take it one day at a time. I ask him if he heard what I just said. I repeat that I've actually succeeded. He asks what I'm babbling about. I don't think he's listening. I show him the results, and he stops dead in his tracks. My energy is flowing just right for the skin grinding. My skin is glowing bright red, like a beautiful sunset. The skin barrier is shattered. I'm through the first gate. I've officially mastered the basics of skin grinding. He looks like he's seen a ghost. He can't believe it's true. He asks how many days I've even been training. He wonders if I'm actually one of those rare, once-in-a-generation geniuses. I play it humble, telling him it was just a bit of dumb luck. I say it's nothing but a lucky streak. No need to make a scene. He says this is too big to keep to ourselves. He decides we're going straight to Master Bai to report this. We find Master Bai, who looks like he's having a bad day. He asks what on earth we're doing bothering him at this hour. I explain that I'm here to report my progress with the skin grinding. He looks at me, asking if it's only been 3 days. He accuses me of being impatient and trying to rush the process. He lectures me again about how the martial path is a long, hard road. He insists there are no shortcuts to true power. He says that if you're just looking for a fast track to success, then you're no different than those god-worshipping freaks. He admits their god power is fast, but once you invite that evil aura into your body, you've ceased to be human. A bit dramatic, but point taken. He says he's going to be blunt with me right now. He doesn't care what everyone else does. But in his martial arts school, he strictly forbids anyone from becoming a god worshipper. He threatens that if I ever lose my way, he won't hesitate to cut me down himself. He's perfectly willing to clean house if he has to. I assure him that I hate god worshippers as much as he does. Then I drop the news. I've actually finished the skin grinding. I tell him I've reached the final stage. I show him how my blood energy moves like a beating drum. When I tense up, my skin feels as hard as a shell. He stares at me, finally realizing it's really the skin grinding stage. He's dumbfounded. He can't wrap his head around it. He repeats that it just doesn't make any sense. He knows my bone structure was mediocre at best, and that I should have been completely unsuitable for training. He starts to wonder if he's actually the one who misjudged me. I butter him up, crediting his teaching for my sudden success. He eats it up, agreeing that it must be his guidance. He says a great teacher naturally produces a great student. Then he pauses, trying to remember my name. I politely remind him that I'm Ding Yi. He says, right, Ding Yi, that's the one. He announces that I'm officially his 7th official disciple. He tells his guy to go tell the accountant to give me back my tuition money. And from now on, I don't have to pay a cent in monthly fees. He asks why I'm still standing there looking stunned. He jokingly asks if I don't think he's good enough for me. He wonders if I'm refusing the honor of being his disciple. I don't waste another second. I drop to my knees and bow. I officially acknowledge him as my master. He says he knows I must have had some secret luck to get this far, little 7. He knows there's definitely a story there. He tells me to take those secrets to the grave, and promises he won't ever ask me about them again. He vows that from now on, in this Qingfeng County, he's going to have my back, no matter what happens. He promises that nobody in the city will dare touch me. I thank him properly for the protection. Since I've called him master, he says there's got to be a proper welcome gift. He decides to teach me his school's ultimate white ape fist technique. He tells me to watch closely so I can learn it right. I watch his form, trying to memorize every single movement. Wait, that's definitely the style of the Green Silk Temple. I tell the guys to seal off the scene immediately. I'm going to report this straight to the county magistrate. I address the magistrate, getting straight to the point. I report that we've found traces of green silk evil aura at the Senga Lane location. I request an immediate, citywide investigation. He tells the official to just mind his own business and stay out of it. He reminds the guy that he's the one who's actually in charge of the inspection here. He repeats his command for the guy to stick to his own job and nothing else. I tell them both that they're taking this way too far, even for this dump. The monk murmurs a Buddhist phrase, acting all pious and sanctimonious. He chants it again, and honestly, it's just giving me a headache. He asks Master Wang what his specific definition of too far actually is. He says the green silk aura is already making quite a stir in the city. He asks why we didn't just pick something a little less loud. He reminds him that the whole point was to bait the Yinyang Palace into reacting. He claims that from his perspective, as a man of the cloth, the green silk aura is exactly the right level of disaster. He demands to know when the embryonic flesh dance will finally be finished. The guy sighs, telling him it's not something you can just rush. He says that fooling the Yinyang Palace is a delicate, long-term game. Planting a Buddha treasure body is hardly a walk in the park. He insists we need to stir up even more chaos to keep them guessing. Master Wang snaps that he can't hold this charade together for much longer. He gives them a hard deadline of 15 days, max. He promises that if they haven't finished by then, he's going to personally see to it that they're both slaughtered. The monk bows, saying he understands the stakes perfectly well. Disaster stars are running rampant all over the place. The whole empire is starting to tip over like a rotting house. He quotes some poetry, acting like he's the only one suffering for the cause. He keeps rambling about people not understanding his noble intentions. Back to the white ape fist technique. My master is demonstrating it for the 10th time. He asks if I finally managed to wrap my head around the move yet. I stare at him blankly, feeling like a complete failure. He looks genuinely stumped, scratching his head. He reminds me that I managed to master skin grinding in only 3 days. He says I'm supposed to be a total genius at martial arts. He explains that the white ape fist is supposed to be simple. It's adapted from old military techniques designed to kill people efficiently. It's famous for being one of the easiest styles to pick up. He asks why on earth I just can't seem to get the hang of it. He gives up with a heavy sigh, clearly losing his patience. He hands me the training manual for the white ape technique. He tells me to take it home and study it at my own snail's pace. He says if I still don't get it, I can come back and bug him later. I thank Master Bai, trying to hide my relief that the demonstration is over. I muster the courage to ask him for one last, slightly awkward favor. He asks what I want, and I tell him I'm looking to join the inspection office. I ask him to put in a good word and recommend me to them. He looks horrified, asking if I'm really sure I want that job. He warns me that it's not exactly a cushy, safe career path. You're stuck dealing with temple fanatics every single day. One tiny slip-up in that line of work, and you're staring death right in the face. I tell him I've already braced myself for the worst. I say that with the common people suffering under this regime, martial artists like us have a moral duty to help out. He sighs, finally giving me a begrudging nod of approval. He says that since I've got that kind of heart, he won't get in my way. He mentions that my 5th senior brother, Nangang Tian, works there. He tells me to take his letter of recommendation to him. He promises that Nangang will help me get set up. The green silk aura is spreading, and the magistrate just doesn't care. He's acting like he doesn't hear or see a thing. The storm is brewing, and it's about to blow this whole place down. He asks if I'm really stupid enough to join the office right now. I tell him I've never been more certain of anything in my life. I figure I have to respect Master Bai's connections, no matter what. He says that from today onwards. I'm officially a member of the Qingfeng County Inspection Office. I thank my 5th senior brother for helping me get the position. He points out that the green silk aura started appearing right in the exact compound where I live. He insists that I be extremely careful about my surroundings. He says that if I run into any of those green silk freaks, I am absolutely not to play the hero. I am to turn around and run for my life. Run? You think I need to be told to run from those psychos? God worshippers start their careers at the peak of power. A warehouse level is like the absolute peak of our skin grinding skills. I'm just a greenhorn who just learned to grind skin. Why wouldn't I run? It's the only logical choice. You think I want to die for a heroic medal? I mean, I've killed a few before, but that was pure luck. He hands me a breaking evil talisman. It's specifically designed to counter those god-worshipping scum. He tells me to keep it on me at all times for safety. He reiterates that safety has to come first, always. He says as long as I'm breathing, there's a future for me. I pocket the talisman, waiting for a chance to inspect it later. I promise my brother that I'll take his words to heart. I say I'll remember his advice until the day I die. He watches me leave, remembering his own youthful, idealistic days. He says I remind him exactly of who he used to be. But in this cursed world, idealism is just a liability. He sighs, wondering if this world is even fixable. He asks how a single person is ever supposed to fight against the tide. I'm back home, frustrated because Masterby showed me the moves so many times. But my talent is just trash. I can't figure out the rhythm. I just can't seem to get the hang of this damn technique. Good thing I have the ultimate life hack sitting in my brain. The system says it'll cost 207 days to upgrade it. That's a steal. I double-check. Only 200 days? That's not even a year of my life. I can definitely afford that. I'm practically getting it for free. Upgrade it right now. I'm tired of being the slowest guy in the school. I'm looking at the upgraded version of the White Ape Fist technique. The system even threw in some high-level brain-bending combat tricks. What exactly is this circular fierce chi stuff anyway? The moves are big, expansive, and surprisingly violent. But look closely, and there's some real finesse hidden in that brute strength. The system is seriously the gift that keeps on giving. With the enhancement, I can grasp the deep essence of this style in a heartbeat. I've officially mastered the White Ape horse-flipping fist. Now, even if I run into someone who spent a decade grinding away in some dusty old dojo, I'm confident I could actually put up a decent fight. Right, I shouldn't forget about that evil-breaking talisman my senior gave me. The runes on this thing are honestly quite unique. It's definitely worth a deep dive. Maybe I can reverse engineer it. They ask if the intel they've got on me is actually reliable. They're certain. Ding, he has officially reached the skin grinding level. Masterby has officially taken him in as his 7th disciple. And on top of that, he's used those connections to slide his way right into the inspection office. They curse, wondering how they're going to deal with me. They shrug, acting like killing me is just another chore on the list. Better safe than sorry. Can't have me ruining their big master plan. They warn each other not to underestimate me just yet. After all, I'm officially a martial artist now. They figure I've only just finished skin grinding. So how much of a threat could I really be? They claim they've already offed a dozen guys just like me. If Ding E wants to survive this, he better be some once-in-a-million martial arts prodigy. They assign the task to one of them, with a cold look. They warn him not to screw this up, or there will be hell to pay. The Yinyang Palace has been sitting on the Qing province cash cow for way too long. It's high time they step down and let someone else take the reins. Dingy, oh dingy. You're really turning out to be more trouble than I expected. Tonight, at the hour of the rat, we're going to sit down and catch up one-on-one. My gut feeling was spot on after all. The symbols on this talisman match the ones I saw on the bronze lamp and that anti-demon spear perfectly. They are almost identical down to the last stroke. Does this mean the object itself doesn't actually matter? That the real secret to breaking evil is hidden in this one specific, mysterious rune? 30 days to enhance it? That's steep, but let's see. The system asks if I'm sure about this sacrifice. I figured it would be a whole month of my life for something this good. This rune is way too special to ignore. Let's enhance it. I've created the Great Yinyang Flesh-Breaking Rune. It's a nasty, clever blend of Yinyang and Flesh Jar techniques. I've distilled the very essence of the Breaking Rune and pushed it to a whole new evolutionary level. It claims it can shatter any evil under the heavens. We'll see. Not bad. I've still got plenty of life in the bank for now. Better start with 10 of these as a safety net. Done. Now let's see who's coming for dinner. With these upgraded great evil breakers in my pocket. Even if I run into a top-tier god worshipper, I think I can hold my own and take a bite out of them. I'm going out tonight to see what kind of game I can find. Wait, what the hell? Oh, that's not good. The red X on my quicksand map is pulsing. It marks anything that's harboring genuine malice toward me. The signal is incredibly close, freakishly close. It's right next door. Is that guy serious? This makes no sense. I haven't done anything to him. We're total strangers. Why would he be hell-bent on offing me right now? Either way, I'm not taking chances. The map hasn't failed me yet, so I'm going to trust it. If he's going to make a move, I'm going to beat him to the punch. Preemptive strikes are the only way to play this game. But I know nothing about Miao Bujin. He's a complete mystery. Is he a god worshipper or a martial artist? I need to know his combat style before I jump in. I only get one chance to survive this encounter. I need to be absolutely, perfectly prepared for anything. Wait, I've got an idea. "5 years and 78 days for a handcrafted grenade. Yikes. It asks if I really want to pay that, and the answer is a hard no. I just don't have that kind of lifespan to burn right now. So much for my dream of DIY high explosives. I'll have to settle for something a bit cheaper. 69 days for this one. Now we're talking. Is this a good deal? Let's do it. I confirm the choice. I need this advantage. I've got a secret stash flashbang ready to go. It's designed to pop with a blinding, high-intensity light. It'll leave anyone looking at it completely visually impaired. And since I infused it with the Broken Evil rune, it's 3 times as effective against those god-worshipping freaks. Let's show him what a real foreign surprise looks like. Dingy, oh dingy. I'll give you a little more time to breathe. But once the hour of the rat hits, I'm going to personally send you to your grave. I appreciate you being so concerned about me, brother. I'm truly touched by how much you want to see me dead. Hello there. I toss the flashbang at him, a little something I cooked up just for you. I tell him it's just a small token of my appreciation, no need to be shy. I insist that Brother Meow accept this little gift with a smile. He looks at it, completely confused, like he's expecting a bouquet of flowers or something. Then boom, the flash goes off, and I hear him screaming about his eyes. He's wailing about his glasses, which is honestly a bit dramatic of him. He's howling with rage, calling me a piece of trash. He swears he's going to skin me alive. Very unoriginal, I must say. It all makes sense now. My 5th senior brother was right about this green silk creep. So, Brother Meow, you were the target all along. Since he's a full-blown god worshipper, things just got a whole lot easier for me to handle. I pull out one of my custom-built, evil-breaking talismans. I invite Brother Meow to take a long, hard look at what's about to hit him. He stands tall, bragging that he's a direct descendant of the green silk sect. He claims he's worshipping a true god, as if that makes him special. He laughs at my tiny little talisman, asking what damage a piece of paper could possibly do to him. He dismisses the power of my talisman like it's nothing but a passing cloud. It hits him, and suddenly his bravado vanishes. He's convulsing on the ground, screaming as the energy tears through him. He realizes with a gasp that there's a trace of yin-yang energy in there, and he can sense the lingering scent of flesh jar magic too. He's stunned, realizing this stuff is way more advanced than what he's used to. He manages to wheeze out the question, "Who the hell am I?" He screams it again. He really wants to know my life story before he dies. I tell Brother Meow not to strain himself guessing. My history is something he wouldn't be able to guess in 1,000 lifetimes. I tell him to have a safe trip on his way to the afterlife. The system pops up. I've officially taken down Meow. I gained 21 years and 7 days of life. Finally, a decent retirement plan. 21 whole years. My mood just did a complete 180. This feels fantastic. I'm practically floating. I've basically refilled the entire life bank I drained earlier. Turns out, hunting down god worshippers is the fastest way to get ahead in life. This guy wanted me dead for no apparent reason. There had to be a reason, and I'm going to find it. I just hope I can find a lead hidden somewhere in this mess. Found it. It was stashed right here all along. What in the world is this? It's a god statue, just like my senior told me about. I remember his words, so this is what it really means to worship a god. You're literally just bowing down to these ugly stone figures. They must have different qualities and powers, depending on how they're made. This white one is probably the most basic, entry-level garbage. But even this crappy thing is radiating enough evil energy to churn out a whole squad of first-level embryonic thugs. Wait, if I can manage to smash this statue to pieces, that's basically like taking out all those goons at once, right? The reward and lifespan should be astronomical, surely. I'm already at the first level of skin grinding, and I've got enough strength to crack a rock with my bare hands. But no matter how hard I hit this statue, it won't budge. This is annoying. It seems brute force is a complete waste of time here. If I want to pulverize this thing, I'm going to have to lean on my evil-breaking talismans again. I start the refining process, feeling the energy burn. A whole day of life gained just from the first touch of the statue. It's going up. I'm actually gaining time. Holy cow, that was just one talisman. It just handed me 6 full months of life for free. This isn't just a statue, it's a gold-plated treasure chest. I'm looking at a mountain of stolen time, just sitting there. Wait, what just appeared in my vision? The spirit of the blade. Why isn't it losing? Suddenly, I'm being hit by a massive wave of mental energy. My evergreen manual just barely saved my hide from that one. What the hell just happened to me? Was that massive, looming shadow supposed to be their god? This statue is way more sinister than I first thought. If I stay here any longer, something way more terrifying is going to crawl out. I give it everything I've got, and it finally shatters. The green silk statue is history. I just bagged 45 years and 9 days of lifespan. My god, it really is a treasure after all. 45 years. I'm going to live forever at this rate. That's more than Qing Yunzi and Miao Bujin combined. Oh no, someone's coming to check the scene. The energy spike I just caused is way too loud to ignore. I'm going to get caught red-handed, aren't I? If they start investigating this, and they find out I live right next door, I'm going to be the #1 suspect on their list. I need to look like a victim, fast. I scream for help, trying to sound like I'm half dead. My 5th senior brother rushes in, looking worried. He asks if I'm okay. Thank goodness. I tell him I don't even know what happened. I lie and say someone was here trying to worship a god. I tell him I tried my absolute best to stop it. He sees I'm injured and gets even more concerned. He orders them to get me to the medical clinic immediately. He tells the others to lock down the entire street. No one is getting in or out until they finish the search. Master Bai and my senior arrive on the scene. He sees I'm hurt and tells me not to worry about any formalities. He tells me to just focus on recovering and forget about the bowing. He hands me something, telling me to take it. He says it's a reward for my brave fight against that god worshipper. He praises my loyalty and courage, as if I didn't just smash a statue and run. He hands over the exclusive bone-breaking technique of the inspection office. He says it's just a little reward for my bravery. I'll take it. I really just did this for the insurance coverage and a chance to play the victim. But getting a secret technique as a bonus? That's what I call a lucky break. I check in with my 5th senior brother, asking how the investigation into yesterday's mess is going. He says the aura at the crime scene is a total, messy disaster. It's got signatures from the Green Silk Sect, the Flesh Jar cultists, and even the Yin Yang Palace, basically a who's who of terrible people. It looks like 100 people had a giant, chaotic brawl. He admits that actually inspecting this site is a logistical nightmare. I groan. Qingfeng County is getting more chaotic by the hour. Wait, what was that noise outside? He assumes I already know how this works. All 39 counties in Qing province might claim to belong to the Dalian Empire on paper. But the real boss in town is definitely the Yinyang Palace. He says yesterday's little incident made way too much noise. And now the Yinyang Palace has officially taken notice. An official envoy from the palace just pulled up. I eye the carriage. The design and the decor are way too fancy. They're definitely from the Yinyang Palace's Yinji faction. I wonder which one of those lunatics is in there. Wait, the Yinyang Palace actually has internal rivalries? Of course, he explains, there's the Yinji faction and the Yangji faction. The Yinji sect is made up of women, and the Yangji sect is exclusively men. They both practice that nasty yin-yang aura, and they both spend their time doing absolutely bottom-of-the-barrel stuff. He warns me to stay as far away from them as possible. He says a pretty boy like me is a walking target for their harvesting. I'd make a prime candidate for them to drain dry. He says even if I've got the skin grinding of a martial artist, I wouldn't last a single night of that bone-sucking misery. The local official is bowing, welcoming the envoy to the city. The woman steps out. My God, she is gorgeous. I stare for a split second too long, my brain turning to mush. She snaps her gaze at me, asking who was just spying on her. I immediately confess, saying my eyes must have been blind to look. I tell her my guts were just far too big for my own good. I beg for mercy. I don't want to die today. I'm screaming for her to spare me. Please, I'm just a civilian. I call out to the official to save me, but he's already backing away. She sighs, saying my heart source is weak, and my kidney yang is just non-existent. She calls me a useless man. Hey, I'm offended. She giggles, saying the official didn't know his own strength. She basically just sucked the poor guy dry in one go. She asks if I'm going to blame her for that. The official says the idiot offended the envoys and deserved exactly what he got. He insists that even if she hadn't moved a finger, he would have taken the guy out himself. What a loyal guy. She laughs at his pathetic groveling. The official tells them he's set up a feast in the inner city. He invites them to chat over dinner. Nothing like some food with your murder. She agrees, and they head inside together. She just killed a guy in broad daylight, right in the middle of the street. That poor sap was a registered government official, right? My senior says it doesn't matter. He says even if he was just a low-level clerk, if a whole county governor offended the Yinyang Palace, they'd be just as dead. In Qing province, the palace is basically God. That guy was the governor's right-hand man, apparently. Qingfeng County is having some serious political drama lately, and the governor is definitely mixed up in the middle of it. The palace is using this as an excuse to flex, and is sending a very clear warning to the governor. The Yinyang Palace is just ridiculously arrogant. I really need to keep my distance from those monsters. He tells me that's not going to happen, unfortunately. They're here because of the mess yesterday. And since I was the primary witness to the whole thing, I'm definitely going to be on their list for questioning. He says I should start thinking about my alibi right now. He keeps reminding me that I'm the primary witness, and that they're going to be breathing down my neck soon. He says I better get my story straight before it's too late. I curse. I stab myself just to look innocent. How did I still end up in the crosshairs? He tells me to relax. He still has a bit of influence left. As long as I don't give them a reason to doubt me, I shouldn't have too much to worry about. The girl asks why they're even making this trip personally. The palace already has a surveillance branch here in the county. She says it's just a waste of time to come down here. She starts to explain, but then I barge in, greeting my junior sister with a fake smile. I ask why she didn't give me a heads up before dropping by. She gets angry, calling me bold and reckless. She says that without her direct permission, I have absolutely no business just walking into her room. She yells at her servant for daring to speak out of turn. She tells me I'm clearly failing to manage my own people. She offers to teach my servant a lesson on my behalf. She starts moving, and I immediately jump in. I tell her to keep her hands off my people. Thank you very much. It's been a few years, hasn't it? I see my junior sister's cultivation has improved quite a bit. My apologies, senior brother, I was a bit too forward. The servant rushes over, asking if the mistress is all right. She rages that this you guy is just completely shameless. She knows exactly how special the mistress's condition is, and she's just trying to force her to show her hand. She asks if I finally understand the situation now. Qingfeng County is a murky, dangerous mess. We can't trust a single soul around here, so we have to handle the dirty work ourselves. Time is running out, and the situation is getting riskier. You need to pay a visit to the inspection office tomorrow and start hunting for some actual leads. Keep a very close eye on that guy called Dingy. He's our top priority for monitoring. My new colleagues welcome me with open arms. How charming. They ask if I'm the new junior they heard so much about. I give them my best innocent new guy act. I tell them I'm just a fresh face in town and ask them to please show me the ropes. They laugh, saying that since I'm in the office now, I'm officially one of the family. We live and die together, they promise. How touching. We sink or swim as a team, and once the shift is over, they're taking me to the pleasure house to listen to some music. I'll get to see how the real world works, they say. I tell them to hurry up and get fed. I'm starving. That demoness is back already? She moves fast. Good thing I had a backup plan for when things got weird. She addresses us as the special envoy. She asks if everyone is finally here. They're all cowering. Why won't anyone look me in the eye? Am I really that terrifying to look at? The envoy's status is far too lofty for us. So nobody dares to sneak a peek, apparently. She cuts the small talk and gets to the point. She demands to know which one of these idiots is Dingy. So much for we're all family and sticking together. Where did all my brave brothers disappear to so quickly? They're running for the hills, not exactly the live and die together crew I expected. I step up and address the envoy. I tell her I'm Dingy, with a nervous little laugh. She checks me out, noting that I'm a surprisingly handsome guy. She says my presence is actually quite heart-stopping. She smells the gold pattern energy on me and realizes I'm still intact, which is a weird thing to notice out loud. She's really fixated on how heart-stopping I am. She tells me to come along and take her home. What exactly is this crazy demoness planning to do with me? She asks if I'm refusing her, a dangerous question. I remind myself that I absolutely cannot say no. I answer as respectfully as I can, envoy. I'm in deep, so I have no choice but to just play it by ear and hope for the best. I tell her to follow me home. My boss asks me what the hell is going on here. He tells me I've got some seriously dangerous luck with women. Luck? Is that what he calls a death sentence? I'll be a dried-out husk by tomorrow morning. He tells me to just get out of here and get back to work. My fifth senior brother says he's done everything he can for me. Whether I can actually survive the demoness is entirely up to me now. Good luck, he says. I try to make myself look presentable. I tell her this disguise is just to make things easier to manage. She looks at me, wondering if I'm giving away the game. She notes that if I'm going to pretend to be a maid, I'm still missing one major detail. I ask what. She says I smell far too expensive. This premium perfume isn't something an average person buys. I hadn't even thought about the scent. That was an amateur mistake. I fixed the issue, and now I'm perfectly low class. From this point forward, I'm a poor orphan with no family left. Just wandering the streets like a stray, until you showed me some pity, and brought me home to be your servant. Do you have the script memorized yet? I tell her I understand the assignment perfectly. She tells me to get moving. We're going home. I pause for a second, trying to stay calm. I ask what she thinks she's doing in my house. She warns me that without her express permission, I'd better not touch a single thing. This demoness is still as pushy as ever. Good thing I planned ahead for this, and scrubbed the whole place clean of anything incriminating. She remarks that my place is surprisingly humble. She tells me she's done with me for the moment. She's taking over the main bedroom, and tells me I can go sleep in the kitchen. I play the obedient servant and tell her yes, mistress. Her intentions are staring me right in the face. She's just camping here like a hunter waiting for prey. She wants to ambush anyone connected to Meow Bujin. This is terrible news for my survival rate. She's moody, erratic, and dangerous. Any second now, she might just decide to end me for fun. I really need to stop goofing around and get my power levels up ASAP. 70 years of lifespan. I'd barely even had a chance to get used to having it. But it's already time to go all in again. My life is one giant casino. Apparently, a martial artist has to actually move their blood energy around and temper all 206 bones in their body, one by one. Only when every single bone is as hard as metal do you officially succeed at the bone-breaking stage. It's honest, back-breaking, tedious hard work, which is exactly why I don't have the time for it. 29 years and 257 days to upgrade. Ouch. I mean, I've got 29 years to burn, so let's get spending. But that little blonde brat from the palace, she's already at the 3rd level profound mystery realm. A god worshipper like her is on par with an organ refining master. She's a whole tier above just breaking bones. So, just getting past the bone-breaking phase won't be enough. 198 years? Are you actually kidding me? Once it gets into refining territory, the cost just shoots into the stratosphere. It's supposed to be one step at a time, with no room for cheating your way to the top. But if you worship a god, though, it's not nearly this complicated, is it? You just point yourself at a statue, kneel down once, and invite the evil aura right into your chest. Martial artists refine their bodies. God worshippers feed their evil aura. If I could somehow manage to smash both of those together and use the evil aura to actually temper my body, I'd be killing 2 birds with one very cursed stone. 70 years of lifespan to enhance. That's a massive gamble. Is this actually going to work, or am I just lobotomizing myself? And the lifespan cost? I can actually afford it without hitting 0. Let's do it. Why on earth would I hesitate at a moment like this? Going all in is basically a high art form at this point. I'm an artist of the all-in, clearly. The 9 heavens, 10 lands, evil passing secret art. What a name. Something about an evil god crossing the border and reaching the ultimate path of the world. It's all about the ebb and flow of blood energy, taking the evil from the world and turning it into my eternal, unstoppable power. This path is all about crossing over. Harmony is the ultimate priority, apparently. Letting the 9 heavens and 10 lands pass through me. It's actually quite brilliant, in a terrifying way. No time like the present. Time to put this thing to the test. Wait, what just happened? I suddenly understand the logic behind this entire technique. I've got the core principles figured out now. You turn your own body into a literal furnace and use the evil aura as the primary fuel source. You melt the evil into raw energy and circulate it back through your entire system. Looks like the deadline is fast approaching. The yin-yang aura is about to hit. Perfect, I get to test my new power against the real thing. She whispers for me to go easy on her. Yeah, right. She asked me to go slow, claiming she's sensitive. She says she's afraid of getting hurt. What a joke. I snap. Bold demon, hold your tongue. I demand she help me with my cultivation instead. Here goes nothing. This is it. The energy is overflowing. The ultimate state of skin. The legends talked about the ultimate state for skin, bone, organ, and blood. Every single phase of the tempering process has one of these mythical peaks, and a martial artist who reaches this peak is a beast, capable of taking down 10 ordinary fighters without breaking a sweat. This is a future with absolutely no limits. I always thought this was just some campfire tall tale, but I've actually managed to pull it off. And it gets even better than that. I've refined a tiny wisp of that yin-yang aura, and bam, another 0.1 days of life. I don't need those clunky talismans anymore. I've become a walking, living talisman myself. Let's keep it moving. He tells his men he's headed out to sign in for the day. He tells me to take it easy while he's gone. He says he's leaving the house in the maid's capable hands. That damn demoness, still playing the role of the maid. One day, I'm going to make you stay a maid for real. He laughs, asking if I'm surprised he showed up. He asks how I'm even still alive and standing today. He wonders if the envoy lady didn't give me a hard time. He says that's the perk of being young and full of fire. Full of energy and fire. I'm basically a human reactor. He laments that he can't keep up with me anymore. I tell them they've got the completely wrong idea. The envoy lady was just here to check some files. Nothing out of line happened at all. Wait, what? He calls out to his 7th junior brother, warning me that lust is a bone-scraping blade. It kills you before you even see the blood. He tells me I really need to practice some self-control. He's still harping on about me practicing some self-control. I swear to him I haven't done a single thing wrong. He tells me to drop the act, warning me that if I'm stupid enough to die in a woman's bed, he's not wasting his time on a funeral. He promises he isn't going to help avenge me if I'm actually that dense. He tells me to just get out of here already. I catch him before he can walk away. I've got other things to discuss. I tell him to wait a second. I've got more to say. I explained that the only reason I joined the inspection office is because I actually want to clean up the trash in this city. I really do want to do my part to keep the common folks safe. And if I spend every single day just slacking off and doing nothing, my conscience is going to start eating me alive. I tell my 5th senior brother to just give me a real mission for once. He thinks for a second and admits he actually does have a job for me. He says the Black Dragon Gang is suspected of smuggling God statue fragments. But despite all our digging, we've come up completely empty-handed. He tells me if I'm really this eager to serve, then I should head out and start the investigation myself. God statue fragments? Now that's my kind of lead. I tell him this is great news, and I'm ready to go. I promise my senior that I'll take full responsibility for this one. He warns me not to let my guard down for even a second. He insists that I have to prioritize my own survival above everything. The Black Dragon Gang is the biggest underground syndicate in the outer city. They have eyes and ears everywhere, like an annoying rash. He says if you push those guys into a corner, even with my shiny new inspection office badge, they'd have no problem putting a knife in my back. Some old guy in the back is yelling at a servant to get a move on. He complains that making a simple bowl of noodles is taking an eternity. He asks what the bosses at the top are even thinking lately, making us waste our time just wandering around the streets all day. He wonders why we're playing tourist instead of working. His buddy tells him he doesn't know what he's talking about. He says all this wandering is actually some kind of test. The first guy asks what the hell he means by a test. His buddy whispers that his uncle let him in on a secret. The big bosses are hunting for a specific thing. He says if we happen to find it first, we'll be set for life. Big promotion, big money. He concludes that whatever that thing is, it must be worth a fortune. His friend sneers that money is just for the unimaginative. He says it's some kind of treasure from the higher UPS. The first guy asks if that's actually for real. His buddy swears on his life it's the absolute truth. Then I walk up, asking who the hell they think they are to talk like that. I repeat the question, who exactly do you think you're talking to? I tell them to open their eyes and get a good look at who they're messing with. They puff out their chests, declaring they're with the Black Dragon Gang. They say that around here in the outer city, aside from the officials and the government, the Black Dragon Gang is basically the law. They claim they could grind me into hamburger meat and nobody would dare say a word. They ask if I want to put that to the test right now. I tell them I really don't believe them. I flatten them both in 2 seconds flat. So much for the law of the land. I tell them they had their chance and blew it completely. They threaten that I'd better watch my back from now on. They warn me that the Black Dragon Gang doesn't let things like this slide. They say the bosses upstairs are going to take my head off for this. I just chuckle, not really caring about their empty threats. I tell them to put their money where their mouth is and stop talking. I order them to take me to their boss so we can talk business. They begrudgingly agree to lead the way. I have a good laugh while I follow them into the lion's den. They're whining to their boss, begging him to get me back for what I did. They complain that they've been in the gang for years and have never been treated with such blatant disrespect before. They say my attack wasn't even about them. It was a direct slap in the face to the boss himself. The boss notices their swollen faces and gets curious. He tells them all to just shut the hell up for a second. He notes that whoever hit them that hard has to be a martial artist. He asks me, very calmly, which path I'm actually walking down. I snort, telling him he doesn't need to know my life story. I tell him I'm just here to drop off a friendly little warning. I warn him that his gang has been acting a little too loud lately. And they've already got some very dangerous people tracking their moves. He narrows his eyes, asking exactly what the hell I'm trying to imply. I tell him I've got my own ears inside the inspection office, and the latest word on the street is pretty grim for him. He's been moving a batch of God statue fragments around, and now there's a bullseye painted on his back. He claims that's impossible. It was supposed to be a top-secret deal. Then he corrects himself, saying the gang is very professional about this stuff. They know exactly what lines they can and can't cross, so he's perfectly clear on the risks. He warns me that I should be careful about what I say, because talking trash around here is a dangerous hobby. I tell him he knows damn well whether he did it or not. I've delivered my warning, so my job here is done. I add that if those fragments go missing, my deal with his boss is officially off the table. He starts to panic, wondering if his secret's really leaked out. I realize I managed to bait the truth right out of him. An old guy in the back tells me to stop spouting nonsense. He insists he's been personally guarding the cargo, so there's no way anyone could have gotten near them. He swears he hasn't seen a single suspicious person around. He apologizes to the boss for speaking up, but he believes it's better to be safe than sorry, just in case there's even a 1 in a million chance I'm right. He says the deputy gang leader sent 2 pros to help out. They're just here to keep old show company for a few days. They're here to help pass the time until a new spot opens up. Once it does, we're moving all the cargo immediately. That sounds like a solid enough plan. He tells them to keep working hard while he's gone. He'll be back to pick up the shipment the day after tomorrow. I'm looking through my telescope, enhanced with 10 days of my life. Man, this thing is surprisingly high definition. Even from this distance, everything is crystal clear and easy to see. This right here is definitely where the Black Dragon gang is hiding those fragments. They're being extremely protective of this place. The security is tighter than a drum, too. These farmers look like they've got muscles made of steel. And look at their hands, thick calluses everywhere. They're obviously seasoned fighters in disguise. Those two goons are veteran skin grinders, no doubt. They're practically at the bone-breaking stage already. I could probably take those too, if I really had to. But the real headache is this old guy, Chio. He's already a third-level organ-refining master. Once a martial artist hits that level, their organs basically sync up with the rhythm of the world. They generate their own internal origin force automatically. A mere mortal would be shredded just by getting near him. The Black Dragon gang must have some serious connections to be able to hire someone at that power level. I'm definitely not beating him in a fair fight. I'll have to rethink this whole strategy. He shouts that the master is back home. He's blabbering about how he missed me. Gross, get off me. He says it's really beneath a person of my stature to stay in this hovel. He insists it's just too small and uncomfortable for someone like me. He suggests I move to a better place. She snaps, asking if he's trying to kick her out already. I tell her I'm busy trying to handle actual official business. She keeps asking what I'm actually trying to achieve here. She acts like she's so clever, acting as if she's already figured out my game. I tell her I didn't manage to bag any thieves today, so I'm going to have to stick around for a little while longer. She's like a bad smell that just won't go away. But she's a third-level profound mystery god worshipper, which puts her right on par with that old geezer Chio. Maybe I can use that to my advantage somehow. Let the two of them fight it out, and I'll just wait to pick up the pieces. She asks what's running through my mind. I tell her I was just scouting around the outer city today, and I happened to stumble on some traces of outer aura. Traces of evil aura, you say? I tell her I'm just trying to be a good little servant and solve your problems. I say I pulled a few strings and used some connections, and managed to dig up something interesting. I don't know if it's what she's looking for, though. She calls me out, saying I'm such a sly little fox. She claims I'm always smooth-talking my way out of trouble. She asks if I'm trying to cook up another scheme against her. I look hurt, insisting she's got me all wrong. I swear I'm as loyal to the palace as the day is long. I don't have a single selfish motive in my heart. I tell her if I'm lying even a little bit, she can go ahead and take a year of my life as punishment. Wait, 1 year and 135 days? That's oddly specific. How did she come up with such a precise number? She says she'll trust me just this once, but she warns me if I'm playing her for a fool. I already know what the consequences are going to be. I lead the way, keeping my head down. I tell her there's a trap, a nail in the path. So I'm just going to yank that nail out, simple as that. I let out a smug little laugh. All those weapons are officially broken junk now. Working for the Black Dragon gang is a recipe for disaster anyway. They demand to know who the hell I think I am. They want to know if I know where I'm standing. I hold up the Inyang Palace Envoy token. I order them to get on their knees and show some respect. I wave the token again, looking just as intimidating. I repeat the order for them to kneel and listen up. They look around, confused. What is this junk? They know the gang is connected to the palace, but this is new. Why would another envoy show up all of a sudden? They look at the old guy and ask why he isn't kneeling. They want to know if he's looking for a fight with the palace. He just scoffs, saying he doesn't give a damn about titles. He acts like he's way too big for these little power plays. He declares that hiding evil aura is a capital offense. He says that means a death sentence for everyone here. He yells that he's done with this whole stupid game. The hardest guy to kill just bolted, damn it. Well, at least the rest of these goons should be easy. Did you not hear the man? The envoy is conducting a raid. Everyone on the ground now? The old guy was right about one thing. Some secrets are just too big to keep under wraps. And now it's all blowing up in our faces. Hiding evil aura is a serious crime. It's a guaranteed death sentence either way, isn't it? Rather than just sitting here and waiting to be slaughtered, I might as well take a swing at it and see what happens. Yeah, screw that self-important Yin Palace envoy and his whole act. I'll just take him out and make a break for it. And if that fails, I'll just leave Qing province entirely. The world is a massive place, after all. Surely there's enough room for me to hide somewhere, right? Good spirit. I like that attitude. Then how about you try and take this one? You guys aren't really hitting that hard, are you? Well, yeah, I guess so. Listen, listen. They're still technically alive, but regarding the outside world, they're completely unresponsive to anything happening around them. It's like their entire consciousness has been scrubbed clean. The Black Dragon Gang is seriously outdoing themselves with this cruelty. The evil aura here is thicker than pea soup. This has to be their secret stash for the god statue fragments. Hey, I've finally found the jackpot. Oh, there's a really dense pocket of aura right ahead. He asks how I managed to get back here so quickly. I tell him the thief has already met their end. I brush it off, saying the guy wasn't much of a fighter, but he was an absolute master at running away. I couldn't quite get my hands on him. He was just too slippery to pin down. It was exhausting, but here's the fragment I managed to scrape up. Take a look at it, and tell me what you think, boss. It's definitely a piece of a god statue, no doubt about that. But it's not from the green silk god. This has absolutely nothing to do with what we're tracking. Not a green silk piece. This is actually the 7 emotions evil aura from the 7 Absolute Palace. It uses raw human emotions as its primary fuel source. These women have already had all their human feelings drained away. Now they're just mindless living corpses for anyone to use. Why would the Black Dragon Gang go to this much trouble and risk getting their heads chopped off just to refine these living dolls with 7 absolute evil aura? What could they possibly be planning to do with them? He asks why I'm playing dumb. He knows I've already figured it out. Of course I have. It's obviously to cater to the twisted desires of some high-ranking perverts. They're pretty enough, and I'm sure they'd fetch a hell of a price on the market. He tells me to send the signal and let the inspection office clean up this mess. He says I should hand over that 7 absolute fragment so they can destroy it along with the rest of this garbage. Destroy it? That sounds like a terrible idea to me. We went through all this effort just to get our hands on these pieces. It seems like a huge waste to just throw it all away. I'm sure there's a better way to handle this. We could probably turn this into an opportunity. Destroying it isn't an option, boss. We went through all this effort to get these pieces, didn't we? It's a massive waste to just toss them out. I really think we can do something smarter here. I know we can make this work for us. Fine. What kind of something are you talking about? I explained that we didn't know, before we got here, that this wasn't green silk stuff. If we were in the dark about it, everyone else is definitely even more clueless. He grunts, asking what I'm getting at. I suggest we take the fragment back and use it as bait. If we find a big enough fish that can't resist the smell, we can follow the line all the way to the truth. Exactly. That's the play. He laughs, admitting my brain is a lot sharper than he gave me credit for. We're doing it. That's the plan. He says he's headed into the city to report to the mistress, and he'll grab whatever gear we might need while he's there. He tells me to take the shard and wait for him back home. I tell him no problem. I'm on it. The demoness won't be back until late tonight, which gives me the perfect window of opportunity. I'm going to milk this for every second I can. Almost there, just a little more pressure. If things go according to plan, and I work fast enough, I can refine enough aura to hit my goal and finish the skin-grinding peak before she even walks through the door. It's done. It's finally cooked through. Every inch of my skin has been refined to the absolute limit. I'm officially at the peak skin-grinding level, for real. A servant asks me if I'm okay, calling me master. The demoness says she's back. She looks at me, wondering if I look different. I tell her not to start with the jokes and act like there's nothing for her to worry about. I tell her it's probably just her imagination playing tricks. She mentions that she got this from the mistress. It's aura-inducing incense. She says it'll make the aura density around here spike and help mask the true nature of the aura we're using. I smile, thinking that's perfect bait to draw out the prey. I can't wait to see if the rat hiding in the dark can actually keep its cool. I wonder if the rat in the dark can actually keep its cool? This aura-inducing incense is working perfectly. It's thickening the aura concentration around here and masking the true nature of the aura we're baiting with. Heh, baiting traps is basically my new favorite hobby. I'm just waiting to see who's hiding in the shadows. Let's see if he can actually hold it together. Ugh, what a moron. This is an yin-yang aura. It's totally wrong. It's way too diluted to be the real deal. Does he really think he needs a disguise for this? Wait, is this family? Are they the young guy who lives right next door to Miao Bujin? He starts chanting Buddhist prayers, looking all holier than thou. He rambles about the boundless sea of suffering, telling me to turn back to the shore. Yeah, no thanks, I'm good. I wonder how long this is going to take. Wait, he's here already? That was fast. This energy signature, we're in serious trouble now. I caught the fish, all right. But this fish is way too big for my rod. The envoy asks if I'm really sending a transmission point signal. She's telling her mistress that everything has gone to hell. If even someone as tough as Biha is acting this panicked, the guy outside must be a straight-up nightmare. Is this the time to just cut and run? The monk greets us, acting like he's just here for a friendly chat. He bows, offering a polite greeting. A 4th-level spirit pivot realm master? I am so dead. He tells us to put down our butcher knives and magically become a Buddha on the spot. Hilarious. I tell him to shut his pie hole. This is official Yin-Yang Palace envoy business. And it's definitely not the time for a bald freak to get sassy. He moves, and the fight is on. He mocks me for being too slow-witted. Watching them fight is like watching two gods trying to destroy each other. Do I run, or do I stay and get stepped on? No, if I bolt now, he and his creepy master are definitely going to hunt me down. Before the night is over, I'll have the entire Yin-Yang Palace on my tail. That's a guaranteed one-way ticket to the grave. I'm all in. It's time to take a gamble. Refining a wisp of 7 absolute aura, 0.5 days of life gained. The 30-day Great Yin-Yang Flesh-Breaking Talisman is fully enhanced. I'm screaming. It's clear now that the gap between a god worshipper and me is huge. The difference in power is just depressing. The monk says he told me not to be so damn stubborn. But since I just wouldn't listen to a word he says he's sorry for what happens next. But he's just going to have to make me go through with it. He's going to save my soul by killing me. Hey, back off, you bald freak. Leave the girl alone. I scream at him again. Let go of her. You're not hurting her on my watch. He looks shocked that I didn't just run for the hills. I'm just a 1st-level skin grinder, for God's sake. How do I even begin to fight a 4th-level spirit pivot semi-god? He looks at my little room, laughing, calling us 2 pathetic, dim-witted children. He says that saving one is saving them both. It's all the same to him in the end. He chants another prayer, acting so self-righteous. He attacks with a roar. I tell him to try this little treat first. He's caught off guard. Shoo, stay quiet for a second. He destroyed my hidden weapon. Crap. He mocks me for being so weak, yet so reckless. He clearly didn't expect me to actually stand my ground. He thinks I'm just delusional if I think that trinket will save me. He's enjoying this way too much. This guy really is a 4-level spirit pivot master. But my secret flashbang weapon, it's not even going to leave a scratch on him, is it? Good thing I've got a few more cards up my sleeve. He assumes it's just a normal Yin-Yang talisman. Wait, he's realizing it's not? He realizes this one is far more potent than the standard ones. He demands to know what other crap I've got hidden on me. I tell him to come and find out for himself if he's so curious. He says he's done playing nice now. He laughs, thinking he's got me trapped. I tell him to get on his knees for me. He says again he's done playing games. He laughs, confident he's about to finish me off. I scream at him to kneel before me. Take this. Still no kill notification from the system? Is this monk made out of iron or something? Why isn't he dead yet? Wasn't this supposed to be the transmission point? Where is everyone? They should have been here ages ago. He says he's genuinely impressed by how much of a nuisance I am. But if I'm done wasting his time, he's going to send me to the deepest circle of hell. I can't hold out much longer. My energy is completely gone. Time to get the hell out of here before I'm a corpse. A voice booms from the shadows, demanding to know what kind of god-worshipper dares to run wild in the Inyang Palace's backyard. Oh, thank the heavens, they're finally here. It's only been a few minutes, but it felt like an eternity. The monk sighs, realizing he's not going to have the pleasure of ending my life today. He yells for him not to run away. Oof, that was close. Finally, I'm safe. I can finally breathe again. Wait, what's that shimmering on the ground? Huh, it's a shiny little trinket. Finally, I'm safe. I can finally breathe again. Wait, what's that shimmering on the ground? Oh man, it's a god statue fragment. And it's a high-grade red one, too. My lucky day. The evil aura inside this thing is absolutely packed and ready to go. Did that bald freak drop this when he was running for his life? This little piece of junk is going to do wonders for my lifespan. I'd better hide this before the palace goons come sniffing around. I bow, greeting the envoy with all the faked respect I can muster. I tell her I'm completely useless and failed the mission. She sighs, saying it's not my fault. That monk was a real monster. He's definitely one of the top brass over at the White Cloud Temple. I tell her I couldn't manage to bag him, unfortunately. She asks if I'm really that much of a failure. I explain that the monk was already hit by my flashbang. And then he got blasted by a whole stack of my evil-breaking talismans. He was on his last legs. How did I even let him slip away? She asks if my name is Dingy. The one Masterby took under his wing as his 7th disciple. I hand over the 7 absolute fragments I managed to grab. She stares at the small pile, looking deeply unimpressed. I beg the envoy to see things from my perspective. That monk from White Cloud Temple was just too damn vicious. He snatched the rest of it before I could even blink. I nearly threw my life away just to hold on to this tiny bit. She admits that given my cultivation level, just making it out alive from his hands is basically a miracle from my ancestors. She tells me everything that happened tonight stays buried in my stomach. I tell her I understand perfectly, envoy. They leave, and I finally let out a long breath. Thank God, those 2 plagues are finally out of my hair. But I've got to get out of the White Cloud Temple too. That monk took a massive beating from me. And he lost that precious red fragment piece. So he's definitely going to be looking for blood soon. If I stay here in his backyard, I'm just waiting for the axe to drop. Wait, why is the Inyang Palace getting involved in this now? They ask if I really got exposed that badly. They're furious, asking why I was so sloppy with my job. I tell them that even though I was exposed, I managed to uncover some interesting intel on the side. I explain that besides us and the palace, there's another shady faction hiding in Qingfeng County. It's centered around some guy named Ding Yi. There's got to be something fishy going on with him, don't you think? They tell me they've heard enough. They're going to send their own people to run a check. Time is running out for all of us. They tell me to speed up the operations immediately. Wait, what did you just say? My junior sister went to the city in secret? What the hell was she doing there? Investigate her right now and report back to me. I tell them there's one more thing to report. The Black Dragon gang is getting investigated. They've totally cut off our supply line for the fragments. They call the gang a bunch of useless, incompetent losers. I show up at the master's place in the dead of night. He asks what the hell I'm doing here at this hour. I tell him I've run out of options and nowhere else to go. I have to throw myself on his mercy now. He tells me to get up off the floor immediately. He asks what on earth happened to me. My master is a 4th-level blood exchange martial artist. He's on the same level as Sun Xiao and that monk from the temple. He's at the same tier as those terrifying monsters. No matter how arrogant that monk gets, he wouldn't dare come here and start trouble. Now I can finally stop looking over my shoulder and refine this red-grade god statue fragment in peace. Refining a wisp of the red-grade fragment, 3 days of life added. That's 3 days in the bank. I feel the baleful energy sink deep into my body. It's the ultimate bone-breaking grind. refining another wisp of the fragment. 3 more days. Another 3 days added to the clock, pulling that evil energy right into my core. It's the absolute, ultimate bone-breaking session. I've spent the whole night refining this piece of red-gray treasure. 60 years of life. That's an insane return on investment. And out of my 206 bones, I've already reached the extreme tempering level for 175 of them. I'm so close to the finish line, I can taste it. I need to find more of this aura source, pronto. Maybe I'll try my luck back at the inspection office tomorrow. I walk in, and they're all bowing, calling me vice deputy. I ask what they're blabbering about. They ask if I haven't heard the news yet. The official transfer orders just came down from the top. They tell me I've been officially promoted to vice inspector of the inspection office. And the word on the street is that this sudden appointment was personally pushed through by the Enyang Palace envoy herself. Well, isn't that just cozy? They slap me on the back, saying I've really got it going on. I try to look modest, mumbling that things aren't exactly what they think. My senior congratulates me, saying I'm the man of the hour. He says my talents in that specific department are clearly top tier. He asks why I didn't tell him about my little specialty sooner. He claims he's been worried sick about my performance. Gee, thanks. I play along, telling my senior that I'm definitely capable enough now. He winks, saying he gets it, he totally gets it. Right, about that Scarface guy from the Black Dragon gang. The one suspected of smuggling those god statue fragments? We've got him locked up in the dungeon. He's rotting in a cell right now, waiting for a visit. It's a case you started yourself? So maybe you should be the one to finish it. I tell my senior he's an absolute gem for thinking of me. I swear, if I can't squeeze the truth out of this guy about where those statue fragments are going, I'll write my own name backward for the rest of my life. He tells me it's my case to run, so I should probably take full responsibility for it. I tell my senior he's truly the best, really. If I can't extract the location of the fragments from this guy's thick skull, I'll personally see to it that I bleed out on the spot. He points me toward the second-to-last cell on the left. He laughs, noting the guy is tougher than a $2 steak. He says the guy's mouth is just completely sealed shut. We've tried every trick in the book, but he won't give us a single word. I suggest some of the classic heavy-duty persuasion techniques. I ask if they've tried the wooden donkey yet. A classic, truly. I hear the guy screaming, "My job is so much fun, isn't it?" My senior looks at me, surprised that I'm such an expert on torture. He says those methods are enough to give a guy nightmares for years. I tell him to just step aside for a minute. I'll handle this myself from here on out. I look at Guafeng Chun, the guy in the cell. After reaching the peak of skin grinding, my grip strength is just absurdly high now. I nearly crushed the guy's arm by accident just reaching out. If I actually accidentally kill him, I'm going to be really ticked off. I tell him to cough up the smuggling channel for the fragments. And maybe I'll go easy on him today. He just laughs right in my face. He calls me a dog and says he's not falling for my tricks. He yells that I don't know who he's dealing with here. He says I can throw whatever I want at him, but he's not going to utter a single cry of pain. I tell him that calling himself a grandson for being a coward is a weird flex, but okay. He's really determined to take his secrets to the grave. Even if I hit him with the 10 worst tortures in existence, I'd never be able to tell if he's lying or not. Time to introduce him to a little bit of future tech interrogation. This guy is seriously hard-headed. I could use the 10 worst punishments, but it's still a guessing game. I need something that actually guarantees the truth. Time to bust out the futuristic tech, I guess. He tells me to keep trying. He isn't afraid of anything. He swears he has absolutely no fear left in him. Is that right? The system says this truth serum variant costs 17 days of life. I authorize the enhancement. Let's see him play tough now. He stares at the glowing vial, wondering what the hell it is. He asks what I'm trying to do to him. I tell him to stop wasting my time and just drink it. He starts choking, demanding to know what I've pumped into his system. I lean in and ask him if he likes his sister-in-law. He calls me insane for asking such a stupid question. But his mouth keeps moving. He admits that he does. He asks why he just said that. He's completely lost it. He accuses me of using some kind of evil magic on him. It looks like my Earth escape technique has already started to work. I move on to the real questions. Those 7 absolute fragments. Where exactly did you guys buy them from? He starts spilling the beans about this guy called Old 8 and the trading spot. He says he's taking the secret to his grave. Well, not anymore, buddy. He says on the 9th day of every month, Old 8 passes through Qingfeng County, and they meet up at the tea stall in Mosik's compound. The 9th day of every month. Which means the deal is going down tomorrow. I ask him if anyone else knows about this little arrangement. He swears he'll never tell a soul. He says the deputy gang leader knows about Old 8, but he doesn't know the specifics of how the trade happens. He's the only one who handles the handoff. I laugh. This is basically a gift from the gods. I thank him for being so wonderfully cooperative. I'm definitely going to enjoy hijacking this smuggling route for myself. He yells that I'm a dead man walking for doing this. I shrug. Everyone's a critic. Wait, what was that? 2 shorts and a long? Is this the secret signal Scarface was talking about? What about Guo Fengchun? The guy says Guo told him that all this business is officially in my hands from now on. He notes that this Guo character must really trust me to hand over the reins like this. I tell him it's nothing personal. I'm just a guy who works for money, not for people. I ask him straight up, what exactly are you looking for? I tell him I want exactly what Guo was hoarding. I'm looking for that specific good stuff. And I'll take every single piece you can get your hands on. He looks nervous, reminding me that stuff doesn't come cheap. I just give him a look that says, try me. I tell him if he's got the goods, I've got the power to take them. In this messed up world, gold and silver are basically worthless. Collecting god statue fragments is the only real way to climb the ladder. Enhance everything. I want every single one of these juiced up to the max. I repeat that I don't care how many you have, I'm buying the whole lot. He looks at the measly pile he brought. I ask why on earth he only brought the white tier garbage. Don't you have anything a little higher quality than this? He complains that my appetite is getting a bit too big for my boots. He claims getting even this much was already a logistical nightmare. Every time you move up a tier of statue quality, the aura density spikes through the roof, which makes the chances of getting caught skyrocket along with it. It's a massive risk every single time. I just roll my eyes at his excuses. I'm not in the mood for a lecture on risk management. He swears it's not even about the money, really. Yeah, right, tell that to my wallet. I tell him I just want a simple yes or no from him. Are you going to deliver, or are we done here? I repeat the question, give me a straight answer. Can you do it, or not? He throws his hands up, screw it, why not? Men die for wealth, just like birds die for food. It's a classic saying for a reason. If I lose my head, it's just a scar on the bowl, right? I agree, let's meet back at this same spot in 3 days. Good, try to remember that. 3 gold ingots aren't even close to my limit for god fragments. I ask him exactly how many he can pull in, because however many he finds, I'll eat them all up. He thinks to himself that I must be carrying way more gold than I'm showing. He wonders if he should just kill me and take it all. Then he immediately talks himself out of it. What the hell am I even thinking? The muddy water around here is just way too deep. 100 times more dangerous than the Black Dragon gang. He must have some massive backing behind him. Better not touch this one with a 10-foot pole. The junior sister says she's followed her orders. She's had her people turn the entire county upside down. But she hasn't found a trace of that White Cloud Temple monk. She didn't even manage to find a single bald head, let alone the monk. She asks if my intel was even remotely accurate in the first place. I ask her what the hell is going on in Qingfeng County. She knows the situation better than I do, doesn't she? If she's trying to play the fisherman waiting for the catch, she'd better watch out, or she'll capsize her own boat. She says I don't need to lose sleep over her problems. She said all she's going to say on the matter. She tells me to watch my own back, too. I just watch her go. The mistress sighs, saying that the guy at the office never tells the truth. He's definitely mixed up in the monk's shady business. She asks if we're just going to let it slide. She says Qingfeng County is just a stagnant pool of misery. Everyone here is either one of Magistrate Wang's cronies, or a mindless fanatic loyal to the other guy. A dragon from outside can't beat the snakes on their home turf. It's going to be incredibly tough for us to flip the script here, unless we can find someone completely neutral to lay the groundwork. Dingy. It's easy to get used to the good life, but hard to go back. That's the truth, for sure. Once you've had a taste of the red grade fragments, going back to the white ones feels like a step backward. The aura feels so thin and sparse now. Today's the day old 8 is supposed to deliver the goods. I'm counting on him to pull through for me. I just hope he doesn't flake out at the last second. It's easy to get used to the good life, but hard to go back. That's the truth, for sure. Once you've had a taste of the red grade fragments, going back to the white ones feels like a step backward. The aura feels so thin and sparse now. Today's the day old 8 is supposed to deliver the goods. I'm counting on him to pull through for me. I just hope he doesn't flake out at the last second. He spots me, waving me over to the side. He asks if I got the goods ready. Of course I did. I check the quality. Not bad. Not bad at all. He starts complaining about how hard it is to smuggle the red ones. He says the risk factor is through the roof. He's already lost a bunch of guys just to get this small pile. He says they were all his best friends and partners. He tells me that's going to cost me extra. I tell him no problem. I'll bump his pay by 20%. He giggles, clearly satisfied with that deal. He says I'm a man of my word. Then I ask him if he's got any leads on complete statues. He looks at me like I'm completely insane for even asking. He says a complete statue is more valuable than his own life to a god worshipper. He tells me he's been in the business for years and has never seen one in the flesh. But he does have one little bit of intel he's willing to toss my way for free. I tell him to spill it, but keep in mind I'm not promising anything yet. He says it's all just hearsay and gossip, so take it with a grain of salt. He doesn't want to be held responsible if it turns out to be total garbage. He asks if I've heard of the Flesh Jar sect. Apparently, one of their disciples, a guy named Bayunzi, has been running around the neighborhood lately, conducting blood sacrifices. And the rumor is he's carrying a god statue fragment. And it's a red grade one, no less. What are the odds? Talk about a small world. I casually ask what level this Bayunzi guy is supposedly at. He thinks he's probably 3rd level profound mystery realm. He asks why I'm so interested in the guy's power level. He gets suspicious. I'm not actually planning on picking a fight, am I? He insists that Bayunzi is a seriously dangerous customer. I shrug and tell him I'm just curious, that's all. I tell him thanks for the chat, and take my leave. Bayunzi. Don't you go anywhere just yet. Once I've finished absorbing these 2 red grade fragments, I'm coming for you, you fake-looking Taoist, and we're going to settle our little account, once and for all. I repeat my promise to Bayunzi, don't get too comfortable. Once I've refined these 2 shiny red fragments, I'm hunting you down. We've got a long overdue date with destiny. Yes, the extreme bottleneck is finally broken. So this is the true power of a peak bone-breaking martial artist? My punches feel like they weigh 10,000 pounds. I feel absolutely unstoppable right now. Even if I bumped into a 3rd level profound mystery semi-god, I don't think I'd even flinch. Bayunzi, get ready, here I come. The ghost wall has finally lifted. And honestly, I don't even need that blood aura robe anymore. I can move in and out of here whenever I please. I'm afraid I'm a bit late to the party. The village blood sacrifice is already complete. Everyone who used to live and shout in village has been turned into raw materials for Bayunzi's god statue. The place is a total ghost town now, not a soul left. This has to be where Bayunzi was keeping his little shrine. He's long gone by now. I just hope there's something left behind that I can track. Well, at least I didn't come away empty-handed. I found some of Bayunzi's hair and a scrap of his robe. If this were Earth, I'd be grabbing his DNA off of this. I doubt anyone in this world even knows what DNA is, but for my system, literally anything is possible. I try to sense the guy's location. Not a total loss, I suppose. I've got his hair and a piece of his clothes. This should hold a bit of his personal energy, or DNA, as I call it. Maybe this world has no concept of genetics, but my system doesn't care about their textbooks. Everything is on the table. The system offers to track by Yunzi. It's enhanceable. It costs 135 days of lifespan to run the scan. Should I pull the trigger? Why not? Of course it works. Everything always works. I'm tracking by Yunzi now. 100 miles apart, and I've still got a tether on him. I can feel his position, and the system is feeding me live updates. By Yunzi, you never saw this coming. But I'm tracking you across the internet of the spirit world. He calls out to his master, asking about the blood traces. He thinks the whole village event might have been a bit too loud. He worries the city inspectors will come snooping around. His master sneers. Those guys don't have the guts. He claims he's already scrubbed every trace of aura clean. If they want to find us, they'd need the eyes of a god. His apprentice agrees, calling his master a genius. He's proud of creating such a high-grade red flesh statue. He says the villagers died for a noble, holy purpose. The red string is pulling harder than ever now. Yunzi is definitely hiding right around here. This place isn't too bad, I guess. Nice feng shui, very convenient for burying someone. The red string is pulling harder than ever now. Yunzi is definitely hiding right around here. This place isn't too bad, I guess. Nice feng shui, very convenient for burying someone. So far, no sign of any nasty evil aura. An old guy comes out, asking who I am and what I want. I tell him my name is Zhang, and I'm just a traveler, just passing through, and looking for a place to crash for the night. I promise to be out of his hair by dawn. He says I've come to the wrong village for that. He makes it very clear that I'm not welcome here. I try to negotiate with the old guy, Zhang. He suddenly stops, looking like he's remembered something. He says he's just a senile old fool. He says, "Oh, my noble guest." He says I'm an honored guest of Yunchi village. If I don't mind the mess, I tell the old guy it's no trouble at all. I'll take him up on that. He just casually tosses me a bar of gold. Wow, look at that. He mutters that they haven't seen such a fat, juicy two-legged sheep in their entire lives. They're plotting to do exactly what they did last time. Just chop me up into little pieces and stuff me inside some steamed buns. But they remind each other not to mess up my clothes. They want to keep them to wear for later. How thoughtful. One of them comments that I'm actually a pretty handsome guy. He suggests they just break my limbs and keep me around for breeding purposes. They figure I'm out cold, so it's time to get to work. They move in, ready to strike while I'm sleeping. Wait a second. I'm not even in the room anymore, am I? I tell them it's fantastic that they decided to make the first move. Now that you've started this, I don't have to feel even a shred of guilt about slaughtering you all. I'm definitely not where they think I am. I tell them again that I'm glad they were the ones to start this fight. It makes the impending cleanup job feel completely morally justified. They scream at each other to stop standing around and just kill me already. They realize I'm a martial artist after all. Oops, too late. They're begging for their lives, pleading for mercy. They're groveling at my feet, terrified of what I'm about to do. They say they're sorry for not recognizing a real master when they saw one. I ask why they're looking so panicked all of a sudden. I'm a man of principles, after all. I don't kill old people or women, usually. Fuck. But you lot aren't even people anymore, are you? And you definitely aren't anything else recognizable either. I'm feeling pretty good about my form right now. I tell myself to keep the momentum going. The junior disciple complains that it's getting boring here. He asks when they're finally going to head back to the mountain. The master tells him to stop being so impatient. He says the villagers here are just top-tier supplements for their power. It's a one-life blood sacrifice to erase 100 disasters, or so he claims. Wait, who's that? Whoa, what the hell? The man steps into the light. He asks what on earth this thing is. He yells, asking who's out there in the dark. He sees the woman and gets a look on his face. Everything goes black. He asks again what this thing is supposed to be. I shout at him to identify himself and explain why he's attacking the innocent. I order him to drop his weapon and surrender right now. It hasn't quite healed up all the way yet, I see. It seems that for these high-level god worshippers, a simple flashbang really doesn't have the impact I was hoping for. I'm going to need to get back to the lab and invent something nastier. Old 8's intel was spot on. He's definitely carrying a red grade statue. This guy really does have the prize piece on him. He looks at me, asking if it's actually me. He finally recognizes my ugly mug. That's good. It saves me the trouble of introducing myself. Every drop of blood you took from me back then, you're going to pay back 1,000-fold. He laughs, calling me a loudmouth braggart. He thinks I'm just a second-level bone-breaking martial artist. But he's a third-level profound mystery expert. He tells me to die. He's stunned. How is this even possible? He says that even his strongest strike should have been enough to shatter refined iron. So why is my skin completely unfazed? It's the extreme state of skin refinement. My defenses are magnified to an absurd degree. Even the darkest evils can't get a scratch on me now. And the ancient extreme state gives me an explosive power that hits like a dragon. I can shake mountains with a single blow. It's the extreme state of skin refinement. Defensive power through the roof. Invulnerable to any dark sorcery. And the ancient extreme state is like a dragon's fury unleashed. I'm here to crush all living things. I tell the Taoist that his profound mystery level isn't all it's cracked up to be. I suggest he stop hurting people in his next life. He screams for his god to save him. He lets out a final, pathetic wail as he goes down. Yunzi asks me one last thing. He asks if I've ever stopped to think about why the martial path has fallen into such decay, and why the gods have risen to take our place. He claims the power of the gods is something my tiny brain can't even begin to imagine. He says today he's going to show me the real truth. I realized too late. The guy had one more trick up his sleeve. I'm staring into the face of my own mortality. He tells me to get ready for the assault of the flesh evil. He says even if I'm an extreme state martial artist, I'm still going to be shredded, until I'm just a pile of stinking, rotting flesh. He says the evil aura is coming for me. I think to myself, is this supposed to be a bad thing? He warns me to prepare for the attack of the flesh evil. He says even if I'm an extreme state fighter, I'm still going to be ground down by the aura. He tells me that I'll soon be nothing but a puddle of putrid, rotting meat. I'm honestly just sitting here thinking, wait, you're trying to infect me with more of this aura? Is this my lucky day? I tell him to bring it on. Let's see what you've got. He lets out a strange, choked-up sound. He mumbles that this is what happens when you try to fight against the gods. I just give him a look that says, you're the one who's about to have a very bad day. He asks what on earth is happening to his technique. I explain that I'm refining his precious aura into pure, concentrated energy. I'm funneling it straight into my internal organs and using it to forge my own internal origin force. Once I've completely transformed my 5 viscera and 6 bowels, that'll be the peak state of organ refinement, won't it? I tell the Taoist not to stop now. I'm just getting warmed up. I've only finished refining my kidneys and liver. I need more fuel. He stares at me in pure horror. How can I refine his precious evil aura? He shouts that what I'm doing is physically impossible. He claims the aura is a divine gift from the gods, something that lowly mortals are only meant to endure, not control. Nice, hard is finished. The system is working overtime today. I tell the old Taoist to keep pushing that aura. I need more. I'm pretty sure I'm literally going to bore this flesh jar guy to death with my smugness. It's over for the demonic Taoist by Yunzi. 34 years and 267 days added to my life. I think I'm going to cry tears of joy. See ya, wouldn't want to be ya. My colleague tells me I just don't know what I'm missing. He says this Xinhua girl at the Drunken Fairy Pavilion is absolute trouble. He insists I absolutely have to go see for myself. Maybe next time, buddy. I walk in and see the demoness waiting for me. What are you doing here? In the middle of the damn day? I feel like I've walked into a nightmare. She greets me, saying that being away for a single day feels like 3 autumns. She acts like she's missed me so much, it's sickening. With my current stats, I could probably pin this demoness down and give her a good spanking without breaking a sweat. But considering the Inyang Palace is backing her, maybe I'll pass. She tells me to stop playing coy and just say what I need to say. She tells me if I've got orders, I better spit them out. She says she's ready to die for the cause. Yeah, right. I ask her if she's really ready to die for this mission. She says my official record as vice inspector is truly exemplary. She claims I'm both wise and courageous. She orders my immediate transfer to the inner city as a new inspector. Everyone's congratulating me on my big promotion. Lucky me. Being an inner city inspector is basically a death sentence on a silver platter. I've heard the rumors that none of the previous guys lasted even a month. The big shots in the inner city are all hiding skeletons in their closets. Even the Black Dragon gang, those smugglers, were only operating because they had friends in high places. She asks if I'm trying to refuse a direct order. I tell her I wouldn't dream of it. I'm honored by the envoy's trust. I tell her I'll be packing my bags and heading to the inner city immediately.